There we go. Finding all the right buttons. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome, you fantastic and lovely people. How are you guys doing? I hope you are all having a good time and you are ready for the fantastic special guest that we have on store for you guys today. Yes, and I am talking about the one, the only, Hales Venon. That's right. We're going to have a party tonight. We're going to have a good conversations. We are going to have an enjoyable evening, and I hope you guys are ready for another edition of our fabulous Talk Tuesday. So let's get Miss Hales in here. I see we're not already spamming, so we'll get this party started. Thank you all for showing up. You guys are amazing. And 3, 2, 1. We're live with Hales. Say hi.
Hello. Off stream, I'm just like this the whole time because the introduction was amazing.
Oh, I don't know about all that, but you know, we're absolutely ecstatic to have you here. I hope. I hope I didn't have to twist your arm too bad to get you in here.
I think it was an immediate agreement to this. So honestly, no. You said you want to do it, so let's go.
Let's go. Let's do the thing, right? Let's have a good time at this. Oh, it's been fantastic.
Let's do this. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely, I'm very excited. Hello, everyone.
We got all of the normal crowdy in here, all the lovelies that are here to have a good time. Jax, I am doing well. I hope you're doing well. There's Skywalker. That would be Jem, if I remember. Yes, Jem.
My lovely moderator. Yes.
And there's, of course, the sale. Yes, we have a Hales. Hales, you have been touted as the upcoming future regime, if I'm not mistaken.
You know, I was nervous about the auditions, and you know, the three of them were just so lovely when I came in to run lines with them, and I'm hoping I get it, guys. This is already derailed. I love it.
What do you mean already derailed? But you expected us to start on the rails to begin with? What is this?
I mean,
madness.
Us cookie people, please, madness.
I refuse to be even remotely tied to a formatic spectacular, a something that's way supposed to running lines. Absolutely.
There you go. Yeah, I try my best. You know, I'm not a professional actress, but I do what I can, guys. Please be actors. Be actress.
So before we start taking our questions from the audience, of course, we do have our standards. We do have some level of standards of professionalism. We will try our best to maintain around here. And those would be so we have a standard 2 questions that we ask.
Okay.
And those kind of gives us a nice way of
what's going on over there? The silence. What? Oh God, I saw it.
Yeah.
I have like flustered cheeks, bro. How am I supposed to continue?
She's already messed up. It's just a thing already. Okay, so what we normally start with is 1 of 2 questions. We cover both of them. We start with, what got you into streaming? Like, what was the impetus that started the stream adventures of a Hales Venon?
Oh gosh. Well, originally it was Hales Kenobi because of my love of Star Wars, but you know, I didn't want a certain company to come after me if I started making merch in the future. But first, like, I think my name is probably the hardest thing to say. You say it perfectly. Hales Venon, people say Venon or they say Venon. But basically it's true, I've seen it.
I've had the people mispronounce the names for a while now. It's a thing.
I mean, I think on Twitch it's common to be the person that like kills the names, which I do a lot. But my name is derived from obviously half of my name, and then also my love of Dragon Age. If anyone's a Dragon Age lover, you're good at my books because it's one of my favorite game series. But basically, Vanon is the Elvish word in the game for heart, and I just loved it. And I thought I'd like to run with that. And to go back though, to see how I got into streaming, I've watched people play video games, whether it was on YouTube or Twitch, for years. It feels like a long time, honestly. And I don't know if that says a lot about me, but it's okay. But I used to watch Rooster Teeth. I don't know. Do you know who Rooster Teeth is? I feel like everyone
know
kind of
who
does.
Rooster Teeth is. Yes.
Yeah, we don't really
I mean-
talk much about them anymore, but
Who doesn't know? Oh,
I
come
mean-
on. Red versus blue, it's huge with them.
Red versus Blue. Listen. I'm just saying, like, that's where I got my start to be like, I would love to kind of work in this industry of hanging out with friends, streaming some games. Didn't think of like making money off of it. Like, you know, it's just more of like I just wanted to build a community and have fun with it. And just, you know, meet other people that had the same interests as me, which I think that's why a lot of us start, honestly, is to just build a community and make friends and just to see if anyone else likes the same games as us.
Right.
And I started back in actually summer of 2022. And then I just had my gaming laptop. I didn't have any other monitor besides that. It was a struggle, but we did what we did. That's usually how you start. It's not always
Well,
smooth
I think
riding.
everybody starts with a struggle
Yeah.
at the very beginning.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I guess more. So you just decided to get in and start playing games because you thought that was going to be
Yeah.
fun, pretty much.
Yeah, I think
Nice.
the first thing I started was either art or I want to say World of Warcraft. It was one of the two. I can't remember. Those VODs are gone now. think it's one of the two. Listen, we don't talk about that year. But
it was a year.
it was
There was a time. It was a crime.
It was a time. You know what? Actually, yeah. There was a lot of things. But it was great, you know, and I think a lot of the times when people start streaming, they get a little run down because when you're starting streaming, it's rough. It could be rough talking to no one or continuously, you know, trying and maybe not getting where you want to be. But I started off with having friends come and join me and you know, just talk in the chat and make it more fun. And that was what made it great and wanted me to continue. And then unfortunately I had to stop for a bit because I worked 40 hours a week as a manager and I was a full-time student, which I still am, but then it was rough. So had to come back summer of last year and here I am still doing it. And it's been amazing. I met so many amazing people, but that's because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to build a community and I did, and I'm very happy.
Shale, those aren't shout outs going on. Those are the so I have exclamation commands and those are some of those still going off because there's a whole bunch of them in there and I was like, it'll be all right. I've got like so many of these like little shortcut commands in my chat that just
They just have a mind of their own.
Well, no, it's just people can use them, so they engage certain sound effects and whatnot. As a way to, because you know, you only get 50 channel rewards. I mean, how much? You can't really do too much with that.
I wish you could get more. There's so many things I have in mind.
So this was my solution. Yeah, is exactly, Shale. Is that I would put these. So I run Firebot on the side, and Firebot allows me to do these search patterns in the chat. And so the search patterns do, if you put in like a certain key string, it will engage a special effect. And so I have everything from little noise, people talking, to like full on video clips and everything else. And so I've got so many of those buried in the system. I'm like, I should really like turn those off. And then I started going through to turn them off and I'm like, there are so many of them. And it's just, no, I'm dumb.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's but see, that stuff is very fun. Like I want to do stuff like that too, but I want it to where, I don't know, chat can just scare the crap out of me if possible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
fun.
regular thing. Jax has there's a fellow Jax who's in chat currently right now who's having himself a field day with the
Jax, I
sounds.
hope you're having fun. Hope you're having a great time.
So it's just fine.
Love it. Love it.
It is exactly what it is. Okay, so the name Hales Vanon, you actually kind of answered that one, even though I hadn't asked the question.
Yeah.
Which was where does the name come from? And according to you,
Yeah.
it was part of your name, and then the
Yeah, so I
Elven
think it's
word
quite
for
obvious.
heart.
Yeah, so I think it's quite obvious. My name is Haley, but I go by Hales. It's just preferred, you know. Only my mom can call me Haley when she's angry at me, so it just makes sense.
Well, you say it should be obvious, but you know, not really.
I mean, is there other names that have like the word Hale in it? Is there? I could be wrong.
Yeah, but hey, well, so we have a Haley Paley as well. But I mean,
Oh, that's true. We do have Haley Paley.
you could be Hales, and that couldn't be a moniker. Like my name, No Rhythm, has nothing close to my real name. Like not even remotely close.
Okay. Called out. No, I'm kidding.
Not called out. Not called out. Just
kidding.
making a point. Right? There's
Yeah.
absolutely no way that anybody would look at my name and go, "Oh, yes, I know exactly how Nori gets his name. That comes from." Yeah, you would be wrong.
You're like, I'm gonna stop you there. Oh my god. But yeah, and so my name is Haley, but with an I. And then Vanon is basically, I mean, that word is used here and there throughout those 3 Dragon Age games, but I mainly did it because of my love for a certain egghead, and I saw Sandy scream it in the chat. She said egghead. So she knows what I'm talking about. Basically, it's a bald elf man, okay? I have no shame. All right, I love the character, and if you've played the game, you know what happens. And I love him so much. I actually have a huge tattoo of him.
Nice.
On my arm. Oh yeah. And he says the word Vanon to your character, which means heart. So call me a sap, but I love it.
It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
Egghead is part of the Hales harem.
Yep. I mean, at least I can, check my hair, in the reflection, so it's okay. It's
Right,
okay.
right.
He's a very supportive gamer boyfriend. Oh my god.
You okay?
I'm great. I'm great.
If
I
Wine
feel-
Co. sells Mountain Dew, or Father, I have no idea.
I don't think so. Do
That
they?
would be way out of my purview of attainable information. Sorry.
Oh my god.
I
love
wouldn't
it.
even be able to hazard a guess on that one.
All right, everyone in chat, you gotta look it up for us. I'm kidding. Group project. Group project.
Group project.
Group project.
All right. So Sandy has obviously the very first question out here on the board. We'll go ahead and because we basically covered the 2 questions that I had to get started with. Jack's having
I wonder what
so
you could ask.
Miss Sandy Vision and asked the one that's got you already sweating buckets. I can see the perspiration on your forehead.
I mean, a little bit right here, a little over here.
A little here, a little there. That's fine. Sandy Vision asks, now the important question: who is your favorite person in the Digital Engineering Network?
Oh god.
No, she asked about
man.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, it's good. It's good. I'm like tearing up.
Rather than trying to find out who your favorite person is in the regime, because how can you pick just one person out the regime?
I mean, they're all so lovely.
Right? I've had the opportunity to meet him in person, to sit down and chat with him. I'm telling you, it's first rate. So rather than that, let's take Miss Sandy's question and turn it a little bit up on its head, just because I can.
Yes.
And I think they're already trying to mutiny in there since I'm absconding with their question.
Wow. I already know what they want.
Take each one of the members of the regime, and why don't you tell us a memorable moment that you've had with them?
Oh my goodness, where do I begin?
Right?
Literally, that's also a difficult question because I will say I met Sandy first. I actually raided into her when she was playing Mass Effect. And that was when, before I had my current setup, that was when I was also playing Mass Effect on my laptop. And I was like, let's make a new friend. I think it was my very first time raiding out to anyone. And I was very nervous because usually when you raid out to someone, you don't know how the vibes will be. So I went in there, I was like, oh, she loves Star Wars. I love Star Wars. And she's playing Mass Effect. This is perfect. And so I raided into Sandy, and she was so welcoming immediately, and immediately called me Hales, just got rid of the Venom part, which I don't blame her because remember, sometimes we don't know how to say it. I get it. Trust me. But immediately going in there, and I think that was like definitely one of my top moments was just meeting her for the first time through that, even if it wasn't like we didn't know each other immediately. But it's like we clicked so quickly. And here we are. This was back in July, by the way. Here we are talking daily, getting to know each other on like such a deep level. And I feel so honored that she wants to be my friend. But I would say that has to be one of my favorite memories, is just kind of raiding into her and just meeting her for the first time. And it was just like an immediate connection, even if it wasn't through a voice chat. It was just texting, but we got together so well, whether it was talking about Star Wars or Mass Effect. I mean, since then we've had so many good moments, whether it's playing games like Lethal Company or Among Us or whatever it could be. So it's a difficult question to answer because there's so many for each person.
Welcome in, Bombs Away. We're happy to have you here. Right?
Welcome in.
But I mean, they're each fantastic in their own right. Right.
Oh, absolutely. They're all just different, but all so funny and have their own sense of humor. Like Salty. Salty is. I was gonna say we
got Sandy done. Next.
Yeah. Bye, Sandy. We got through. No. Sandy, I promise. I feel like I have to staunch this like wound for some reason. But I promise. Salty. Wait, sorry. Oh God. Oh no. It's very hot. My face is warm. Oh God. Okay. No, we're professional. We're professional. I promise.
I'm like we're like 20 minutes into this. You can't be throwing in the towel yet. Come on.
I'm not. I promise. But okay. Salty. I think she says she's gonna lurk, but Salty, please wait. Salty is also someone that's very funny, but she's so quick-witted, it throws me off. I think, once again, there's so many great moments with her. I think one of my favorites, actually, Nori, you were a part of this. This is when we played Lethal Company together. And it was, I think, still like their kind of first time getting into the game. And I was already dead at this point. I was just spectating. And you came in, you're like, not to be alarming or anything, but there is a Bracken running around. And Salty's like, what's up? And before she could finish it, it just immediately got rid of her. And I was dying. It was so good.
I've seen that clip several times. It brings a tear to my eye every time. I just kind of walk in, not to be alarming, but there's a black a bracken, and she's like, "What is that?"
It was just the best timing ever. That bracken really is working for its holiday pay. Like, it's not messing around. Oh gosh. But like there's so many good just moments, and then even like outside of streaming when we're in our group chat on Discord, it's just so many like little comments she makes. It just cracks me up. Salty, you crack me up so much. Like, I think I laugh a lot with you the most. I'm sorry to the others, please do not, come for me, but I'm just saying Salty has me cry laughing a lot. And especially her reactions, whether it's when she's streaming playing American Truck Simulator with Eagle or Resident Evil and she forgets the QuickTime event. It's okay. But she's just very funny. I adore her. Oh, I think she likes that comment. I'm gonna get so many DMs after this from that. You're gonna be like, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Instant heartbreak, Sandy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're all so funny. You are, I promise. Gosh.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. I listen.
All right.
It's okay.
All right. You just got one more member now. There's just the Salty.
Saf. No, Saf.
Safi. Excuse me.
Safi. With Saf, we've actually titled ourselves the Death Duo. We die together like men. Like we go in and we're okay with it. We meet death with open arms in the video games. I think that's probably some of the best. Like when we played, is it Labyrinthine? I think it's called, or Lab for short.
Right. Labyrinth.
Yeah. Every time we've played that game, we would always be stuck together, and the inside jokes we have been some of the best. And I think it's that Death Duo, like funny little inside joke that we have where we just die together in any video game. But also I think I like making her laugh the most. I feel like she's easy to make laugh, and I love that. Well, that's one of my favorite things to do. So some of my best memories with her are getting her to either laugh really hard or just have like a little giggle. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I think I strive for that every time I talk to her. So she's just great. Everyone's so wonderful. I honestly feel just blessed that all three of them are my friends and they're my lives. Yeah, exactly.
See, that was much easier than trying to pick just one of them.
Sandy.
Rat Queen.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I think that was my fault. She was dressed as a rat in that game, and the rat monsters kept coming at us. And I said, "Stop, tell your cousin to stop killing us, please." And I think it transpired until there. So she's now Safi the Rat Queen, apparently. She's run with it. Oh god.
It do be like that.
It do be like that. I'm seeing a bracket in the chat. Okay, well, listen.
Yeah,
if you don't,
Haley's got something going on in the chat, that's for certain. Okay, so Salty asks, what do you look for? What do you look to for inspiration? Do you have any artists that you admire?
Oh, so like art or in general? Just anything or just art, would you say?
Her question is do you have any artists that you admire?
Artists. Yeah, actually. If no one knows, I am a concept artist. Or I guess in training, in a way, I go to school for game art and design, which is very fun. And my style kind of reflects with a lot of video games like Blizzard, I think, is where my style leads to, I'd say. And the best person I could say that really reflects it is Dave Greco, last name Greco. He has some of the best works I've seen, especially in the industry that I want to go into, which is the video game industry. Working in a studio, being able to do character creation, and he has legit some of the best pieces I've seen out there. And he actually has a YouTube channel, not sponsored, but little short promo for this guy. But he's really good at explaining how to do lighting with digital art, especially, or shading colors, especially, or how to draw hair to eyes to anatomy, which I think a lot of people struggle with when they first get into art. Anatomy is quite difficult because while all body types are different, proportion is very, very important in making sure anatomy is spot on. Because you don't want to have someone looking like one shoulder is longer than the other, or the nose is very off center, which would suck because it's right dab in the middle of your face. So he
Right.
has a very good, he has a very good explanation on how to perfect these different things. And I watch him, I think, every time I do commissions, just because not only is he a good teacher on how to teach stuff, he's also just someone that is very entertaining, very therapeutic to watch, especially if you're drawing, which I recommend if you do art, to watch someone else draw as well. I think that really does stimulate motivation, because sometimes, besides if like writer's block, you have artist block. It happens. Sometimes you're not inspired. I've had that before, and it's oops, no, not the blurriness. It sucks. It sucks. But Dave Greco, amazing. Also, I'm trying to remember her name. If you don't mind me looking it up really quick.
No, you. It's your question. It's your time.
I'm on the clock. There is someone. So I also used to work in the young adult book art community. So I used to do prints and stuff for monthly book boxes, which no pressure. That's a lot. Trust me, they are very critical and precise on how they want their characters to look. But there is a artist named Mad Schofield, or Mads Schofield, I should say, and she does some of the best work, and I really, really like her style. It's so it has a realism, but also an animated feel to it, and especially with bringing these book characters to life, which I know Salty knows what I'm talking about, because I know Salty reads these books. It feels like you're in the page, and you are, on the journey with these characters, and that's something I've always wanted to do, and I love how she makes it work. Even though it's not a style that I take part in, it's something that I enjoy seeing, because that's why I did art, was to tell stories through a visual sense. And she does the same things, and I love it so much. Yeah. I would say Dave Greco and Mad Schofield are the ones that inspire me, but also just keep me motivated, I think is the right word to say. I just love what they do. So much fun.
Oh, so much fun. Absolutely.
So much fun. I love it.
All right. Next up on the questions list from Dote Games, he asks, top 5 Star Wars characters.
Okay, that's the hardest question I think I've ever received. Oh no! Oh boy! Oh god! Oh no!
Big guns coming out early.
No kidding. I mean, other ones are such a piece of cake. No, I'm kidding. These are all quite hard questions because I have so many answers. But God, I mean, I think Obi-Wan would have to be the first. I mean, come on. Both younger, older Obi-Wan, it doesn't matter. His character, top tier, whether it's Alec Guinness or it's Ewan McGregor. I actually met him, Ewan McGregor, at Star Wars Celebration of 2022.
Oh, that's exciting.
Listen, he is one of my celebrity crushes and one of my favorite characters of all time. So when I tell you I was scared and nervous all at once, it was horrible because they bumped up his time to meet him as well. So I wasn't prepared, and I was also dressed like Obi-Wan, so actually I think I can show the photo. It's literally just my lock screen. There you go.
There you go.
Oh no, come back. It's us. But he was very lovely. Such
Well,
a
I
nice
mean,
person. And
at the end of the day, they're people like us.
oh no,
They're
true. Oh,
they're
absolutely.
famous. Granted, I'll give you that,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that. But I mean, at the end of the day, they're still just people.
Yeah, and I think it's just before I meet someone that I've admired for a long time, you get a little nervous, but then once you meet them, it kind of goes away. It was the
Hmm.
same thing when I met a bunch of other people that I admired, but I digress. Obi-Wan though, number one. To make a long answer short, Obi-Wan for sure. Just love how he is with Anakin in the prequels, and I love his short from what we see in the movies, relationship with Luke. It's he's just an all-around great character, very much someone that you would want as a mentor as well. So I love him. I love him. Both people played him really well. Even the voice actor for Clone Wars was really good for him. I can't remember his
Yes,
name though. I don't know.
I know who you're talking about too, and I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, he does a really good job. So all of them, all the Obi-Wans. Second, what was it? Top five, right? Oh
yep,
God,
yeah.
Boba Fett.
Oh, hang on one second. One second.
Yes, go for it. Go for it.
No. So Salty decided that she's going to pick now of all times to hit that first redeem. And around here we have a little graphic that goes up, and we have a little party. There's some music there playing, and we dance, we shake, we shimmy, we have a good time, and we declare that Salty is today's index. That's right, Byte Zero, the number one, numero uno, the head honcho, the big person themselves. Oh, we love it. We hope they're up there dancing on their table, because if they're not, then we are for them. Let's go.
That was salty. That was awesome.
Just get down. That's right.
Let's go. I love
I'm
it.
surprised, because usually that's like picked up early on in the stream, but apparently no.
Wow. I
And
love
yes,
it. I mean,
it is important.
oh,
No, I was going to say,
the-
most people don't understand, because when we talk about the index, and I say the index 0, in programming terms, the very first person, the very first item in an index is considered the 0 fragment, because we don't have the concept of 1. Computers actually do believe in zeros and ones, and so indexes are by default labeled at 0 to start. So there you go.
I did not know this. I just learned something. I love it.
little PC information.
I'm quite tech savvy, but I still don't know a lot. So you know what? I appreciate it. I need to know a lot more stuff. So that's actually cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
There you go. All right. Boba Fett is your number 2, huh?
I'm a Boba Fett girl. I'm sorry, everyone, but it's true. It's true. Give me a good. I want to say he's like a morally gray character in a way. I guess, kind of. He's a villain, but not. Really.
No, you can't really. Okay, so we'll get in here. I will dive in. I will wave my own Star Wars nerd creds around here, because I did do the whole comic book and stories and everything. Boba Fett is a mercenary.
Yeah.
Tried and true. That's it. So he's about as neutral as you can get. The only thing he cares about is who's paying him, and it doesn't matter. You put up the creds, he'll go do the work. So he's about as morally ambiguous of a character as you could ask for. Neither good, neither bad. Just pay me the money and let me go. Now, some people will view that as evil, but in the grand scheme of things, if you look at it over the cosmic fight of what is the Star Wars, the light side versus dark side, which, argumentatively speaking, that is what the majority of that canon revolves around, is the forever war between the light and the dark side.
Very true.
Boba Fett is the most ambiguous, neutral character you could possibly ask for. Neither good nor evil in anything that he does.
And see, that's always something that people, I think, discuss a lot, especially with other characters too, about that morally gray. Like,
there's another
area.
artist that just showed up. That Croto from previous Talk Tuesday.
Hello. Yeah, that's something I like. I think I'm always drawn to those kind of characters in any world, whether it's fantasy to sci-fi to any kind of like fictitious kind of world that I always dip into. And I just like him. Of course, I love the accent, but I also just love how he lives in the world, like how, like you said, he's just there for the money, he's just there for survival. And you know what, relatable. So honestly, honestly, it's just the way he acts and the way he is. And not a lot of people liked the Book of Boba Fett, and I'm sorry, but I loved it. I loved it. I
It
just like
was
seeing him in this kind of light.
it was a good read.
Yeah.
It just, but it is one of those things that you do have to consider. And a lot of times people will look at their own current state of their own moral compass, and they will judge characters based on their moral compass. And it's only when you step back and realize that it's not just you who has a moral compass, but the characters have a moral compass. Everybody has a moral compass, and not everybody's moral compasses all swing in exactly the same direction. Close.
Yeah.
A lot of them run really close, but not. You're not always going to find people who run exactly parallel with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
And that's why I like him. And that's why I liked seeing that show and getting to kind of, I guess, get to know him a little bit more than what we saw in like Return of the Jedi and we had Jango Fett and then Little Boba Fett in the prequels. So it's nice to have like a full show kind of about him. And then you have books and stuff as well, but still it's nice. I liked it.
Stream is buffering. Yeah, we've had a few buffers. Sorry about that, folks. That's on my side.
No worries.
I will. We'll turn down the settings a little bit. But no, keep going.
Okay, okay.
You're good.
Third character, I mean, Darth Vader / Anakin has to be the one. I think he was. And it's funny too, because as a child, I was more into the dark side. Weirdly enough, I was very much, I was Darth Vader for Halloween. I had the voice changing helmet and everything as well. And it's true. I was still a little nerd kid. That's never changed. That's always this. It's been the same. And I think it's funny how I've transgressed from dark side to more light side as I got older. But as a kid, loved Darth Vader. Still do. He's just probably one of the best villains to ever be created. Fight me, but it's like anyone can fight me on it, but it's true. I think we can all agree. Come on, right? I think so. I think so. I'm waiting for someone to be like, actually.
No, I think as kids go, like a villain is easy to identify with.
Yeah, that's true. I think
maybe not, and mostly just because I think kids tend to look at the fact that they get into trouble a lot, and the villain is always constantly in trouble. So
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say because kids are rebellious, and it's just something with even with like Anakin, like also just the story in general is so tragic, and you get to know that more when you're older. And his story is just wild. Some of the best written kind of backstory or like progression of a character, and even until the very end of like what happened to him, and then even what we saw in the Obi-Wan show, like it's so dynamic, and there's a lot going on, and I really enjoy seeing it go from young Anakin to early 20s Anakin to older to Darth. Like it's so complex, but something that you love to follow. And so I always liked that as a kid, and I still do. He's just a really cool character. So definitely Darth Vader. I will put him up there for sure.
There you go.
Yeah, and then oh gosh, we still have two more. I'm sorry. You asked about Star Wars. We're gonna.
You're fine. You are just fine. Talk. That's what we're here for, though. I mean, it's kind of in the title of the show, right? Talk Tuesday.
I'll just leave myself out. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. Fourth, Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon
Really?
has to be. Yes.
Now that's an interesting
Qui-Gon.
pick.
Why do you think so? I want to know.
Okay.
Is it just because it's not common, or?
No, it's not. So Qui-Gon, even in the books, did not get a whole lot in the way of character progression. right? So here is this very flat, and I'm going to say flat face, but I mean just a very flat Jedi character persona.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically every Jedi master rolled into one guy. Like they stamped him as part of a template that came out, and that's what Qui-Gon is. He's just that. He is that epitome of the typical Jedi Knight, the Jedi Master who's teaching a Padawan. And so that's what we get out of Qui-Gon. Granted, in the books, they flesh him a little bit, but not so much so to break him out of that mold. So to go, I really like the template character is a really interesting statement. That's all.
I mean, no, I totally understand. I think some people are kind of also thinking, huh? But if you guys don't know this, I have a big Star Wars collection right behind my desk, and I have actually quite a lot of Qui-Gon Jinn merchandise. Not because, I mean, I love Liam Neeson, but that's not the reason as well. But I've read the books, and I also read Master and Apprentice, which is when Obi-Wan, I think he might be like 18 or 19 years old, still a Padawan, and you get more in depth. You get more in depth inside of Qui-Gon's head. And same with even the prequel books. You get more inside of his head as well. Same with Obi-Wan and Anakin. And it's so different from what the movies show. I mean, the movies show it in a very well-mannered way, but like it's different when you have it in a text sense, because then they can really indulge more into what were the characters thinking, what are their uncertainties, or what do they feel unsure of. And those books really showcased it so well. And Master and Apprentice has become one of my favorite books. And I can't remember what the mission it was that Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan did, but it was so interesting to see Qui-Gon's side of how he feels he's failing Obi-Wan so much. And it's kind of like reminiscent to how Obi-Wan felt with Anakin. And Qui-Gon gave off such a very confident way of how he was as a Jedi, especially as he kind of questioned a lot of what the Council did. Like, he wasn't I wouldn't say he was very traditional, because he would kind of rebel in certain aspects. So it was, yeah. And he had he didn't go fully off the radar, but it was very much like he had a different idea of certain things, but he would never disrespect the Jedi ways of the Council. And it's just so interesting to see him feel so down about himself, about how he helped to teach Obi-Wan, and how Qui-Gon saw Obi-Wan as more of how a traditional Jedi should be, and how much more better of a master he could be than he was. And it's just so interesting to see. So if anyone hasn't read those books, I recommend. You get such a different take. And that's what I love Qui-Gon, because it's very relatable in the sense of like how you might feel about certain things in your own life. And it's just interesting to see this character that we thought had such a confidence about him actually not be like that, and still retain like some of, I was about to say humanity, that's the wrong word. But some kind of like emotional feeling inside him, where a lot of the times with Jedis, they're supposed to, retain a lot of things, which is doubt or anger or things like that. And Qui-Gon felt a lot of it. And it's crazy because he would teach, Obi-Wan to, temper your emotions and things like that. But on the inside, he was also feeling it. And it's just, I don't know, it's just something interesting. So once I read the books, he just became one of my favorite characters. I can't help it. I love him.
No, there's perfectly fine. Like I said, it's interesting. I have not read that particular book, so for me, my perspective is more of he's just another template Jedi.
Yeah.
Which,
but I mean, I do see that.
It's an easy enough thing to step in. So I'm happy to have been corrected that there is potential for more out of the character, which is good.
Absolutely, right. And I think that's what's great about the books and stuff that are coming out.
Yo, Rutherford, welcome in.
Rutherford.
All right.
I guess in the last character, this is a hot take, I think. Now, okay, this is a hot take. There's a lot of characters I love. Some honorable mentions. Darth Maul, all right, love him. He's a great character. Okay, Yoda, obviously, wonderful character. Plo Koon, amazing character on the Jedi Council. But because he's my favorite actor. I have to say it, and it is Poe Dameron. Okay. I don't like the new Star Wars films. I like the cinematography of it, and I think it wasn't portrayed really well.
Huh.
But I love Oscar Isaac, and I think he did
Right.
great with what he was given for this character. And I love his character's backstory a lot. And I've read all his comics, so I know all about him. But Poe Dameron, I just love him. I love him. I don't know. I think they could have done better with what happened in Rise of Skywalker, but otherwise, really enjoyed what he did. And I think he's an amazing actor, so it made his scenes more bearable and also kind of the story that progressed. But I guess, yeah, those would be my 5. I have so many opinions on Star Wars, so anytime I get the chance, I have like the nerd TED talk happen.
That's cool. That's cool. Hey, you know what? Like I tell everybody, this is your time. So your talk to your heart's content is just fine.
I try my best.
Okay. Let's see. Next after that, Orfather asked, favorite Procreate brush.
Oh gosh. Funny you should mention. I have the iPad right here, but I don't remember the names. So give me a second, please. Actually, I know that one of my favorites is it's a pack that I mentioned this artist earlier, Dave Greco. I loved the way he worked with brushes, and I loved how he was able to kind of do certain shading techniques. I'm like, what are those? And I found out he puts out his own. I'm just giving Dave Greco a bunch of shout outs. I'm just hyping him up right now. But he has I mean, he's a great guy, great artist. But I use some of his, and one is called DG Main, and it just is a square brush that I use on every single piece that I do. But if we're talking about just a organic brush from Procreate, like that you get when you buy it, there's a lot of brushes from the artistic what do you call it, tabs, and there's a bunch of different kinds of textures from like a painting source. It could be watercolor, it can be something that has a little bit more of a grain to it, or there's some that kind of look a little bit metally. That's not the word. Metallic, I guess. Kind of like a harsher texture, though, something that's more worn out. And me as a fantasy character artist, it kind of works well when you're doing leather or metal. And I love doing metal work, so it kind of just works well. And those brushes, I would say, are pretty much the best. Highly recommend them. It's just the artistic tab if you buy Procreate. Those are some really good brushes. Along with Abstract, there's a lot of crazy ones on there if you're looking to do some more wild techniques or patterns and things like that. There are some interesting ones. Like I downloaded some that are runes for if I decide to do any stone tablets or anything on the walls, and I could just put runes on there. Or there are Opticon, so if you want to put like a lens flash kind of thing, that really works well too. So there's a lot of cool brushes with it. It's hard to choose. They come out with some great brushes in just the general pack that you get.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Next question, also from Orfather. He says, did you intentionally make your entire room blue?
Actually, no. I can actually just I could change it. We got purple, we got white, red. But if you're talking about for Nori, because Nori, I think your main color is like a blue on here. I didn't do it intentionally.
It's blue on the black.
Yeah, I mean, not intentionally. I just think it kind of showcased the shelves, the Lord of the Rings shelves back here a little bit more, and that was what I did. But you know what? Unintentional, but I'm glad I did it, because yeah, then it matches.
There you go.
It worked out.
Okay, and another one from him, Mr. Orfather again. He asks, any grand ambitions?
Ooh. Well, I am a Slytherin, so I'm very ambitious. I as they say. Um, um, honestly, I feel like I'm overly ambitious. There's so many ideas into my head that I want to pull off, or it could be anything too, from wanting to update skills in art to getting my book published, or doing just something different with my room, or succeeding in school and being able to do their live event where art is shown inside of an art gallery and recruiters come. Like, I'm ambitious to get to that point. There's a lot of things, but I think my main one is having a job that I really, really enjoy, and definitely has to involve art. Otherwise, like I otherwise going to art school is a waste of time. So I want to be able to definitely pursue something in the art industry. And while I am kind of going for more of the game side, I'm okay with being a part of TV shows or movies or anything like cartoons or even book art like I've done prior. And I've met a lot of ambitions already. And that is, working with published authors to, getting my stream up and going and getting my art out there. And that's been little like small gifts to myself, I guess, or from the world in a way. But I definitely say being able to actually apply my talents to the job I want. And hopefully I can do that. That's so important to me. I'm a very passionate person. It could be about art, it could be about writing, it could be about Dungeons and Dragons. Honestly, it's anything. So ambitions come naturally to me, and having a lot of them. Sometimes my family's like, you need to slow down because you have way too many ambitions and goals. I can't help it. I just really have so many ideas in my mind, and if I can't check mark all of them off, it's okay. But as long as I could get some of the important ones out, like getting the job I would really, really love to have and whatnot, then those would be my ambitions. So many. The rest of this stream could honestly be me and talking about what my ambitions like I could write a book. So many. That's a
Nothing
good
wrong
question.
with that.
That's making me think more. Maybe I'm gonna add more ambitions after this.
There you go. Let's see. Salty Snacks asks the all-important question. Salty Snacks asks, will you marry me?
Oh my. In front of everybody. I feel like I can't say no. I mean, am I gonna have a spot on the regime, or like what are we talking? Oh my goodness. I mean, I need a ring. I need a ring first. I'm sorry. Like I gotta be claimed. It has to be on there, all right? Like I can't have a naked finger over here, okay? Like I need to be bedazzled. I was waiting for a question by one of those three that says just that. I was waiting for it. Oh my god, Salty.
Sandy Visions asks, if you could give your past self any advice, what would it be?
Oh god. God, I've been through like a lot of ups and downs and rejections and things like that, and I think that was something that I always was terrified when I was younger. As someone that struggled with, we're gonna get serious, but like what not too serious, but just a little bit. Like I think a lot of us, when we go through our younger years, we have a lot of self-doubt and a lot of things we go through, and I think we don't think, oh, it's not going to get any better from here. And my younger self, I think, would be shocked to be at like where we are now, in the sense of wow, I never thought we'd actually get to that point. And so I would probably tell my younger self not something as simple as like it gets better, but just know that you will be proud of yourself at a certain point. You don't feel it now, but I promise once you get there, you will feel pride. You will actually have something to look forward to, and never to give up on your passions, even though you feel as if it's all downhill from now. Because I went through a lot of struggles with art and stuff, not feeling like, I'm not good enough for this, or even something simple as grades, and call it your own, your own internal voice, I guess, or anxiety or anything with the sort. It's usually what everyone will go through. So I would just tell her that giving up on your passions is not the way to go. Keep working on it and feel proud about what you do, because in the long run you're working up to something, and it is going to happen, and it is worth it, and you are going to find the motivation, which you don't have currently. And honestly, I am very proud of the person that past Hales has become, and what I'm currently, I guess you could say, am. And so that's very important. I want to give her a hug and be like, it's gonna get better and it's gonna go well for you. And you have a lot of people, some in the chat right now and someone I'm talking to, that support and help your journey through it. So yeah, absolutely. That's what I would say.
There you go. Lovely answer. Let's see. Sandy also asks, favorite Obi-Wan line.
Oh God.
They're gonna drill you hard about the Star Wars tonight.
Yeah, why am I getting like, a girl has her crushes, okay? It's okay, but that's actually a good question.
There you go, Crow. That's exactly what we do these things for, is you never know who you're going to meet on here and what fantastic new friendships you can make.
Oh, thank you so much, Crow. That's very sweet. I saw that. Honestly, I think the whole, oh God, I don't know if you saw that video of me and Sandy reciting the whole entire thing in Revenge of the Sith between Anakin and Obi-Wan. The whole, I have brought peace, freedom, and justice to my new empire. And it's just their whole entire conversation. But I also think, there's nothing saucy he says. I'm trying to think of something. But I'd say, I think near the end, like his whole monologue after, spoilers, everybody. I'm sorry, just in case, I don't know, spoilers, it's been a long time, but like once he deals with Anakin and he's just yelling at him and saying, "You're my brother, Anakin, I loved you," and like that kind of just emotional impact is so crazy. Like it brings tears every time I watch it. I've seen it since I was a child through now to my mid-20s. Like I think that's probably one of my favorite series of lines and scenes. I love the emotional stuff. What can I say? Hey, Salty, I don't want any of that, okay? Just because it was 20 years ago. Who knows? Some people might be like, excuse me, I have not seen it. I feel I'm being called out. Even by my own moderator now.
Hello, G and Wiz. Welcome in. We are right in the middle of having a lovely conversation with the fabulous Hales Vanon, who seems to be like all sorts of flushed at this point.
I blame a bunch of people, but also most of myself, because I do it to myself. My cheeks are flushed. Can't help it.
Let's see. Next one comes from Skywalker Gem. Ask any dream concept artist. Any dream concept artist would you like to work with?
Oh my. Well, I think Dave Greco keeps coming up. I'm sorry, he's just there,
Sit back, guys. If you haven't heard that name before now, you're going to hear it again.
I'm being bullied. Okay. I'll name off a few more. Don't worry. Let me just get my little handy dandy phone out.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just at this point. I'm like, maybe we should have a Greco counter up here in the corner, like ding.
I'm sorry. He's so good. I can't follow. I have to
No, you don't have to apologize. Look, I'm going to tease you about it, but it's perfectly fine. It is
No
perfectly
worries.
fine.
I'm okay with you. I'm okay with you. It's fun. I love it when people tease me about things because it makes me laugh. Honestly, it's like a difficult thing to make me be like, "Excuse me." I'm more of like, you know what, you're right. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think I keep up with like so many concept artists. I think the other one I can think of is Astri Lone, I believe. I think the last name is Lohn. And she also, I think, has a YouTube channel, and she's someone that's really good about talking about behind the scenes, especially if you're trying to get into the industry. And her artwork, very different from what He Who Must Not Be Named puts out there. But hers is a lot more, because his is very, his is a lot more, I guess, rectangular, a lot more harsher. And hers is a lot more softer and feels more realistic. She has worked with, I think, Blizzard before and Riot Games and stuff of the sort. And her kind of artwork is something I would like to aspire to reach at a certain point after I kind of, I have my own style at the moment, but sometimes, there's always rooms for improvement and to try new
Oh, yeah.
things. And I would love to
Absolutely.
reach, oh, yeah, in anything, whether it's writing or art or even something at school, something as simple as that. So I love what she does, and to work with her would be kind of a dream. I know she works for a very small indie gaming studio at the moment. So I think she would be another person I'd like to kind of have some, professional criticism for, because I like a good critical eye, especially if someone's in the same industry or is also an artist, to help me out. And to kind of just see what I can do to reach her level, which is, I feel like, very difficult at the moment. I'm still finding my rhythm. I'm still finding where I want to be. But I think she'd be a great example. I mean, she's even talked about meeting her like artist idols and them saying, well, you should do it more like this. She's like, oh, I never thought that. I thought I was good at where I was. And so it doesn't matter how amazing you think you are in the moment. Other people might be like, well, especially other artists that have been in the industry for such a long time, they'll give you some good pointers and actually help you out. And you're like, oh, wow, that actually is something that is something I was missing and I didn't realize it. And she's Astri Lone, I'll say her name again. She is someone that would be probably the best person to work with. She's been in the industry a while, so. And she also has arthritis and wrist problems like me, so she would get it. She would get it.
Nice. Yeah. Let's see. Sandy Visions comes back in with another back and forth from the regime. I think you're getting your regime interview at the same token right now.
I'm like a ping pong ball on the table right now. They're just like.
Sandy Visions asks, would you ever want to do concept art for a fantasy TV show?
Yes, absolutely. I'm mainly going into video games, but I'm definitely not opposed to going into any kind of a fantasy show environment or movie or whatnot, because fantasy is what I thrive on. It is something I love to read, to watch, to draw, to write. Or DM for Dungeons and Dragons. Like, all of it is just something I thoroughly enjoy and grew up with thanks to my mom and my uncles. So being to be a part of something like that would be awesome. I mean, I have a few pointers for people working on the Rings of Power set. I can help you. I got you. I have some awesome design. Amazon, if you're watching. I have some things. Just saying. No, but in all seriousness, yes, I absolutely would. I would love to like be a part of any of that, whether it's even something like Game of Thrones. I know they're doing House of Dragon, but like if they decide to go more into it later on when I'm actually in the world of fantasy conceptual art, that'd be so cool. Or even working for Lucasfilms would be cool. That's more sci-fi fantasy, but still falls in the same spectrum. And I think doing Star Wars conceptual art is amazing, because I watched it for the prequel movies, and just to see what they had to come up with for Darth Maul's design was so cool. And so I'd absolutely be down for that for sure. I would send in my resume. I would say yes to any kind of an offer. It'd be intimidating, but I would be absolutely down for that. That sounds like
But
so
yeah,
much
but
fun.
I mean, doing anything that you really are passionate about, it always seems intimidating at first because it's always that disbelief of, wait, somebody's actually going to let me do what I want to do, live my
Yeah.
dream, and I'm not going to have to worry about my bills or anything else because I'm going to make enough that I can pursue this
Yeah. Oh,
this
very much so.
as a career moving forward. And you're like, wow, that's an actual real thing, and it is something to be. I think it's something to always to be very considerate about. It's like, yeah, that you can, if you stick with it, if you reach out for it hard enough and whatnot, you absolutely can go and live your dream.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And sometimes it's difficult to be in that mindset because, weirdly enough, never thought this genre of career would be so competitive, but it is. And so that's also something to be mindful of is when you work in a studio, you're kind of like you work together, but you also work against each other in a way, especially if you're trying to come up with a concept of it could be an environmental piece, it could be a prop, it could be a character. And you try to just do what the creative director wants, but then you have 20 conceptual artists trying to figure it out, and sometimes you work together, but a lot of the times they ask to come up with a bunch of different ideas from everybody, and so you're kind of competing. And that's probably one of those things that, and I'm not really a competitive person, but I feel like I need to kind of get into that mindset, especially in this career.
Mm-hmm.
And it's terrifying, but what I've learned a lot from going to private art schools and things like that is they look for a problem solver. That is the main thing. While you could have an amazing design in your head, you have to make sure that it looks like it can function well. And if there's something the creative director doesn't like, you have to know how to solve that issue. And that is something that's very big. And I've tried to stay in that mindset of. So it's still quite intimidating, and like you said, it's that's how it's going to be. But if you're passionate about it, then you can make it more fun and it's more exciting. But yeah, definitely, I would love to be in those competitive environments, even if I'm not competitive. But I will try.
I think you would do just fine there, just fine. Let's see. Crow, or Dat Crowdo, asks, if you could live in any fantasy or sci-fi universe, which would it be and why?
Lord of the Rings. Middle Earth. Absolutely. I think as much as I love Star Wars, that wasn't my first love, I guess. It was Lord of the Rings because of, once again, my mother and my uncle. They were the ones that raised me up to enjoy this kind of stuff. And I remember being 4 years old and saw Fellowship of the Ring for the first time. And it's so funny. I don't remember a lot of things from my childhood around that age, but that I definitely remember. And a lot of the times kids that age, they don't really pay attention unless it's like, if it's an animated thing, it's a lot easier. But when it comes to something like Lord of the Rings, a lot of times you don't focus on it as a child. But me as a kid, I loved it so much. And I loved the idea of, elves and magic and these creepy evil guys. And like, as a kid, that's all what you saw it as. And I just loved I can't say concept, because as a 4-year-old, you don't really understand what that is. But as I got older and I kept watching it every year so many times, I fell in love with the writing, I fell in love with the world building, and then in middle school, I finally read the books, and that right there sold it even more. And actually, it made me wish I could just be an elf living in Imladris or Rivendell, and enjoy the beauty of that world, be able to be around some of my favorite characters. But also, I already know I probably would be a hobbit because I'm 5'4" and I love second breakfast. I mean, if we're being honest.
If we're being honest, who doesn't like a good second breakfast, right?
Exactly. I'm here for 11 C's, supper, dinner, tea. I would probably be a hobbit. I'd like to say I'm an elf, but I know I'm not. but Middle Earth for sure. It's my favorite series of books to movies. 100%.
There you go. Let's see. Up next on that would be so the Brotherford has a very long one. It's scrolled off my page here. All right, Rutherford asks, speaking of Poe, do you believe he is force sensitive based on the established backstory and the trees of his parents took care of for Luke?
Yes, and I think they do it well in actually the movies. They kind of showcase it pretty well, because in the comics, if you read the comics, they really go into it more, of course. But basically, if no one knows, just in case, Poe Dameron's parents, they were part of the rebellion, and his mother, especially Shara Bey, fought alongside Princess Leia and actually helped save the Queen of Naboo. I can't remember what the mission was exactly, but very, very close. And she was the one to teach Poe Dameron how to fly at a young age. And I can't remember the connection between how and why Luke gave them a force tree to grow in their backyard on Yavin 4, but I do believe that he became force sensitive from it because he would be around there all the time. He would stay under the tree with his mother a lot. And if you take notice in a lot of the comics and even in the movies, the way he flies his X-Wing is very different from a lot of other people. It's like he has a second pair of eyes on the back of his head, or just like the feelings that like itch him are so precise and crazy. And not a lot of X-Wing flyers or just normal people in general that have, you know, an inability to have like quick reflexes. He's just very quick. He's able to know when something bad is going to happen, especially in his X-Wing when he's flying out to go against the Dreadnought, let's say, in The Last Jedi. I absolutely do believe he is not full-on force sensitive, but slightly. And there is another scene in The Last Jedi where something happens to Rey. She screams, and then it cuts to him like waking up all of a sudden as if he had felt that. And I think that transition right there kind of exacts that. Yes, he has a bit of that force sensitivity, but I think it was said that everyone has a bit of it inside of them. It's just not, you know, intense inside of everybody. So I think because of the force tree, yeah, I'd say that kind of instilled it a little bit more inside of his mind and soul. But yeah.
Sailor's Bride, welcome in. First time chatter. Welcome to a Talk Tuesday.
That's my lead mod.
There you go.
Hi.
Seems to fix that a little better. Okay.
It's a Hales interview. Hi, Squirrel.
It is a Hales interview. It is. Let's see. So, Haley Paley, speaking of the infamous Haley Paley, asks, you talked about having an ambition of having your book published. Would you be willing to talk more about it?
Oh boy. Yeah, I can give away some things.
Quick,
you know?
Everybody gets your pens, your recorders, everything else. You get a sneak peek.
La la la. No, I'm kidding. Watch out, everybody. Okay, no. Yeah, so I started writing in 2019. I actually started the process in my color theory class at my second college that I was at, getting my AA for art. And I was very bored in that class. I'm not a know-it-all, I promise, but I already knew everything about that whole entire class. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start trying to drawing up these ideas I've had in the back of my skull and wanting to make them into a story. And so I started writing down the plot first, which we've talked about this before in my chat, if plot is more important than characters or characters are more important than plot, and I think both are very much needed. As if you have an amazing story, but your characters aren't relatable, or they kind of just don't have the best dialogue, or there's nothing really about them that stand out, then the book's gonna, I feel, suffer. And the same thing if you have these really cool characters. What is happening?
Hang on.
What is happening? you don't plagiarize anything.
No, that's not what I'm laughing about.
Okay.
Hang on a second.
Yes,
It just
go for it.
our resident artist, Crow,
Okay.
who is excited to hear the responses to this, was
Oh,
like
no.
smacked with ads right in the middle of that. I'm like, oh, well, hang on. We'll wait
I will hang
1
on.
second.
I'll hang on. Let me know when we're
Yeah. It gives me 2 seconds to say hi to GG Jakins. Welcome in. That was hysterical. Okay,
God.
you're good.
You want me to? Should I start over? Should I start over? I'm okay. We didn't get really far.
No, we didn't get
Okay.
far enough. Go ahead. It's fine.
No. Suspense everyone is back. Basically what I was saying was I started writing my book in 2019 in my color theory class. I have just to state this again. I'm not a know-it-all. I just knew a lot already about that class that I was bored, so I decided to write inside of my journal in that class. And I started off with the plot, which was very important. And the problem with writing a story, you already have read so many books, you've seen so many movies. You're like, I'm probably gonna rewrite what I've already known, what I've already seen. And so I try my best to just kind of start off with like a singular area inside of my story, which I don't want to say names like of my cities, just in case. Salty is apparently writing down everything. I'm kidding. I know she's not. But yes, the plot is important. Or father, I agree. Plot is very important. Because that is the story. That is what derives these characters, like what they go for, whether there's a motive or if there's something bad happening. And I really liked stories that were taken from more of a villainous point of view. I know that there were books and, some shows that showcase from a villain point of view, but I haven't really read anything that was literally from inside of like a villain's head. And there might be books out there, I just haven't read them. And so I'm like, I think I like the idea of something like that. And I thought, well, what could this character be? What could I kind of portray them as? And I've read this was when I was reading a lot of young adult books at the time. And I was like, I really want to do something different because I feel everyone's doing a copy and paste of these stories. And so I decided to go with a male prince character that was, I like to say morally gray, but he really is the worst person you could meet. He's a very handsome man. He's someone that, is very well with the blade. He's someone that is very, he stands tall. He's very strong-headed. He's someone that has lots of talents, but he is the worst person you could meet. And someone that has just this desperate, hungry, need for power. And while we do have a lot of those, I do it in a different way, which I'm not gonna say. But basically, let's just say there's another voice telling him to do other things. I actually have artwork of these characters as well.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at chat's reaction to all of this. This is just fine.
He's morally obsidian. Oh my god. Bride's the only one that knows anything about this book, actually. She's read stuff, so she knows.
Oh my.
Not just as much as me. So if you guys want to ask, or if you guys want to get at someone, it's her. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
But,
let's see. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
All I was just gonna say is, but I'm still writing it, but I stopped writing the actual story. I think I'm about 200 pages in, but I stopped because I didn't know much about the history or backstory of my own world. So I'm kind of writing my own Silmarillion, Bible of my whole entire world, and just trying to get into it with the god concepts, a bunch of gods, and also the creation, and then the different races and things like that, and also different cities and kingdoms and their lineage and so many battles. It is taking forever. It is. I bow down to all of these people, but if you want, if you want a hot boy to read about, I guess that's the best way I could say. There you go. There's so much more to say, but I feel like I'd be giving away a lot of stuff, and I don't want to do that.
Crow offers a suggestion, a book called Prince of Thorns. You might really like it.
I think I've actually heard of that. I never read it, but I have heard about it, so I am gonna have to look into that. Who Crow, do you know who the author is? Because I might have to write it down.
I'm certain he can get you the author for that. Let's see.
Sorry, I just saw Bride's comment, and Bride, I love you.
I'm not committing tax fraud. Thank you for the follow. I would hope you're not committing tax fraud. But it is a fantastic name. It is an absolute fantastic name. We're going to take 2 seconds here just to remind everybody that we are in the middle of our Talk Tuesday. We are having a lovely conversation with Hales Venon. You can find all of her pertinent information from her Instagram, her Twitch, and her YouTubes right below her lovely face there. So make certain you go like, subscribe, and follow to your heart's content.
Thank you.
But we want to make certain that people know how to get a hold of you.
I mean, those will be the best spots. Yeah, actually, my Instagram is directly to where you can see some of my art too, which is great. Yes. I need to update it, but.
Let's see. So Salty Snacks asks, what is your fondest memory or memories from 2023?
Well, I mean, besides meeting some amazing people on a little platform called Twitch. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Not one bit. Nah, I have no idea what you're referencing. Not at all. Not at all.
We're actually streaming on Twitter right now.
We mean Twitter. This is TikTok. We're on TikTok. What do you mean?
I'm sorry. That's right. I have to emo all of the things that people send us.
Wait. No, I'm sorry. I'm showing my age again. It's the Talk Ticks, not the TikTok. Ugh, I get it down backwards so many times. It's my old age showing.
The Talk Tick. You're right. You're right. Oh my God, the Talk Tick. That's beautiful. That's what I'm going to say from now on. Oh, I love it.
We are very popular on the Talk Ticks. I am hip to all of those funky new ways.
Groovy. Love it. Oh my gosh. What was the question?
Completely derailed. Cha-ching.
It's okay.
Salty asks, what is your fondest memory or memories from 2023?
Got you. Okay. Got it. I remember. I'm retaining it. I would say, well, I definitely agree with that, though. Meeting everybody, meeting you, meeting Shale, meeting the regime, Eagle, so many people that I feel very, very honored to be friends with, to be able to hang out with. Like, that is so great. Like, I suck at making friends, so I'm glad you guys took me in.
And Shale, you're totally right. I did swipe that from Duzukino, and that is not one of the only things that I have swiped from Duzukino, but it's fine. He's already said it was okay. And no honestly, you can blame the regime for this particular, because that's where I ran into you from, was a raid from, I think it was Sandy Visions actually, who raided over there, and I tailed along in one of those raids. So,
and the rest is history.
Yeah, blame the regime for all your discomfort at this particular moment.
Well. No, I'm going to say I blame them for introducing me to such lovely people. And I love that I called you lovely at one point. You're like, no one's ever called me that. I'm like, well, because you are. So it's true. Everyone agrees, right? Nori's very lovely. It's true.
She goes, every time I pop in, she's like, and the lovely Nori. I'm like, yeah, not an adjective that is usually attributed to myself.
I'm going to keep it up. Lovely Nora, everyone. But I'd say, I don't know. 2023 wasn't as big for me as like 2022. 2022, I did a lot of things. 2023 was a little harder, but I think I think I guess I would have to say I'm trying to really think about this. God, it's actually kind of hard.
I'm getting called out and brutalized out in my own chat. It's fine. It's fine. Keep talking.
Love it. Love it. Much love for Lori. Yes, everyone. I'm kidding. I think it's just mainly connecting more with my art was another good memory because I was so disconnected from it for a while. I think that family and friends brought back my love for it, whether it was doing commissions or it was just, finding excitement in things. Because there was a lot of things that happened to where I was like, I have to kind of do something in order to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And so also finding a new school that was way more up my alley, that had a lot more of offerings to help in a professional sense, was also a good memory because this school was treating me so much better and also helped me with my art in the sense of creating a portfolio. And it was just such a great memory to be connected with a lot of faculty that was so excited about it. And that's something to me, I don't know, it's great because with schools, you're spending a lot of money. You want to make sure that you're in the right place. And so, yeah, and that's difficult. So, thankfully I found this school that I will say my mom helped with. She was very quick on the draw to find me another school that was, that worked well with me. But, I think that was one of my good memories. And I think just being with friends, honestly, that's probably what 2023 was about, was me being with friends and enjoying my time with them. Because I didn't really do a lot of traveling. I didn't go to cons. I did go to a Depeche Mode concert, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
I cried at it, if that counts. That's a good memory, right? But otherwise, I think it was just the friends I made. Those were like some of the best memories. And then just building the community. Like my community has become amazing and I feel so honored that people want to watch me, fail at video games or, cry at trying to figure out proportions in art. I appreciate it because at least I have someone for moral support.
There you go. Moral
Yeah.
support is a wonderful thing.
Moral
It's fully
support.
ideal.
Yeah.
And who
very
doesn't
much
like a
so.
little bit of moral support, right? Yeah, there's now officially a counter in there for yeah, okay, I get it. I will stop
Love
saying
it.
that comment. Hang on, we
Wow.
had, thank you for the follows, Sailor's Bride. That was awfully nice. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome. But yes, seriously, folks, if you are enjoying this fabulous lady, I can tell you that her streams are every bit as entertaining, and you should absolutely be going and following. So if you haven't already hit that follow button, you do so. Let's see. On to the next one. So Crow asks, where are you from? Not where are you living, but where are you from?
I am from the lovely West Coast. I'm in America. I am from, I'm kind of like around the West Coast. Like I've lived in Nevada, I've lived in Colorado, and then California is home. So that is where I reside. Give me that Valley Girl accent. Thank God I don't have
Oh
it.
my God.
But, oh my God. I just came back from Pilates. No, I'm not from that area, but that is where I reside, from there.
Here you go. So Crow's a voice actor too when he's not busy writing books, and so he loves doing accents and whatnot.
Oh, can I get I need a good Valley Girl accent at some point.
I
need it. I don't know.
You have to go work on that one, right? Get that one souped up and polished.
Yeah, exactly. See, I'm not super great with accents. My grandma will say otherwise. She likes to. I tend to do a lot of accents around the house whenever she's here, and she like slaps me because apparently I'm so good. Like she'll slap my arm and be like, "Stop it! I hate that you're so good at it." But I just listen. Like I think I might Kiwi accents the best. my New Zealander accent, I'm scared that someone's gonna say to do it now that I mentioned it. But I will just say that's
Stop it.
probably my
Get
best.
some help.
Yeah. Yes. Who said that?
No, Haley's calling you out for a good Southern accent.
Okay, listen, I don't think so. Because I think Haley has a natural Southern accent, I think, from where she grew up. And she tried to get me to do it, and I think I did it, but I'm not great. I'm not. I don't think so at all. I don't know if I want to hit up with the Southern twang. Listen, just to help everyone else's ears might not be a good idea.
I mean, you know,
I would
it's
need
your
something to
show.
say. I would need something to say. I can't just like do it
The
all
Gem's
willy
like
nilly.
British one too. The British one too.
I was told my English accent sucks. Okay. My beef specifically, if he's still in this chat. So I don't know about that, but I appreciate the confidence. I think my Scottish accent's okay, but you know, we carry on. Maybe I can't be a
That is
voice actor.
fantastic. You know, it definitely takes a very special, talented individuals that can carry that on. Because
Yeah.
I do two voices. I do the one that you hear, and then I have a gnome voice that I do, and that's it. That is the extent.
Oh, so do I? So if you tell me yours, I tell you mine.
No, it's not a big secret, right? So I used to have a redeem on the channel that
Oh,
so there was two of them. There was, you could ask for a line from a gnome, and then the other one was would actually put me in the gnome voice. I would talk for like, I think I had it set for 5 minutes.
okay.
But it's a real stressor for my voice to talk like that, because it's like flexing a muscle and then holding it lock solid for 5 minutes straight. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but
Yeah.
there's actually a clip there that Orfather actually clipped, because he came in and he was like, I want a line from a gnome, and so I'm like, okay, how did that line go? Mr. Orfather, here is your line for the day. Just remember that a lime with the coconuts makes everything taste great. Or something to that effect. I don't, but yeah.
I feel like I have to do an accent now. You gave one to me. Okay. Well, you know what I'll do? I'll read off the digital engineering. I won't do the Southern accent, Haley. I can't. I can't. But I will say, like, for the Kiwi accent, it's a lot of like in the back of the throat, and like if you say accent, it's accent. It's a lot of sounds. And it's, let me see, where's your digital engineering mod? I could do it really quickly. If you have a question for our guest, feel free to submit that question via the interview question redeem. We promise to get to every question that has been submitted.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Thank you. I think I watched too much behind the scenes of Lord of the Rings, to be fair, so that might be the reason.
It's gorgeous. It's
Thank
just
you.
fine.
It's just fine. Perfectly capable.
Good old Kiwi
fun.
accent.
Just a good old Kiwi accent. That's all you have to remember. Just say the word accent, and then you'll just fall right into it. Oh God! Thank you for the claps.
It's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
Just when you thought that you had learned everything there was to know about this lovely lady, she just digs deeper into that bucket, and oh my God.
There's still a lot to uncover too. So if anyone asks a certain question, there's one in mind I have. So if anyone asks a certain question and then I'm able to say it.
Oh, we've still got more.
You do?
Yeah. So Salty Snacks, because I mean, that last one we actually answered from before we got sidetracked. Salty Snacks asks, what does self-care look like for you?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. I feel like I lack in the self-care region because I'm just so busy and worried about so many things that I forget to do it. But I think, honestly, for me, I definitely don't do anything in the sort of like take a bath or kind of do that just to kind of relax. I think mine is more in the sense of having moments to myself is a great way, because as someone that gets drained really quickly from, let's say, if I'm in a group with a lot of people or there's a lot of stress going on, a lot of the times I might just I might just lay there and have something over my eyes or just close my eyes and listen to like such very um I'm gonna say it's describe it as ascending type of music where it's just something that really calms down the anxiety. And that's something that's very important for me in order to keep in my head. So that kind of just simple self-care of just listening to something that will kind of battle off the stress or the anxiety that's going on is very important. That can be also something as simple as just playing a video game that I've played like over and over again. And I heard something about that actually. If there's people out there that rewatch a certain film or a show or a game, it's because they don't have anxiety going into it because they know what's going to happen, and it's just kind of like a therapeutic stroll through it. And so I do that a lot. I never realized that was like a thing, I guess, until I read about it somewhere, and I thought I really do that a lot. Where I'll rewatch a show I love, or I'll rewatch maybe even like a YouTube video from people I used to watch from like way back when, but I just find them comforting. Like it's something so simple, but those kind of things in self-care for me is for me. It's just something that will just bring down the anxiety. And also I have uh like special someones to help with it as well that just understand how to kind of like care in that area. But if we're talking about self-care though, I mean something just like that, whether it's simple pieces of music to even art. Art is a great way to get out the stress, especially if you're not drawing for anything in specific. You're just, I'm going to sit down, I'm just going to work up something and just continue it while I
Right.
listen to music or I watch something. And that's, I do that, I think I do that quite a lot. There's always something every day happening that I'm like, stress, whether it's school or family wise or friend wise. Like I always just sit at my desk and then I just put the pen to the screen and then I go. So I don't do this. I don't think I do the usual self-care where it's like taking a bath or doing or getting like a massage or doing things like that. I'm more of something where even though I have stress from working through stuff, it's like I use work to also help with art, or I do the music thing. So that's probably where I kind of sit when it comes to self-care, but it does help. It does bring down the anxiety, and so that's what matters.
Yeah, that is what matters. And self-care is
Yeah,
a very important thing to take care of because
everyone should.
it doesn't matter whether you're a streamer or you're a viewer or you read books for a living.
Yeah,
That mental and physical health and well-being is a very important thing that everybody should be taking time out for.
very important. Yeah, definitely.
Salty also asks, what are your go-to snacks/drinks? And before we answer that, Crow, it was lovely to have you here with us. Take care, my friend.
Marco, thank you so much for hanging out.
But yes, your go-to snacks/drinks.
Well, that's also a difficult question.
Why is
I
everything
think I'm
such a
more.
difficult question?
It's
All
got
right,
so
I
many
gotta start.
answers.
We're gonna have to start greasing these questions down. Wait, I know. Let's get some long range brand muffin oil. That's right, long range brand muffin oil. Exactly the right ingredients to lube up anything, to unstick the buns from your pan, or to get your guns up and going. Get your own brand of long range brand muffin oil in
You heard it here
stores today.
first, folks. Oh my god! But wait, there's more. Oh, I love that. Oh my god, so good. That just reminded me really quickly. That just reminded me yesterday in two of the regimes streams when you did the commercial break. That was so good.
I do commercial breaks like regularly around here. There's a there's a sound redeem labeled commercial, and it's that it. If you listen to it, it's a 30-second sound blip, and I tell you what, I will shut up momentarily, unmute the stream,
Yes,
and I will play the music because I've got it right here in front
please
of me.
do. I'll do it too. I'll do it too.
Okay. So that's the music that so there's a redeem. It's when that gets redeemed, that music comes up, and I improvise a commercial over top of it, like on the fly, no matter what it is that I'm doing. And so we've done commercials on the fly for like golf games. So we'll do things like, hi, welcome to the Digital Engineering Network's golfing tutorial session. Lesson 1, how to be really bad at golf. If you're dying to learn how to be really bad at golf, like all of this to that, so there's a whole pattern to that music, and it just overlays, and people are like, yeah, so people come by and redeem that. And so that's like commercials is a thing that I don't know, I've taken up doing now. So before the so there was 2 commercials we did for like the Save Safi's Internet has been a thing for a while. I've actually been working on there is a YouTube video on my channel. It's a really short clip for PFC.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
It is wow, that one, Kiss Marry Kill.
All I see is Kiss Marry Kill. I'm not gonna look at it fully, but I did see it was by Sandy, so now I'm scared.
But yeah, so there's it's PFC. It's and I'm trying to remember what we had a whole thing, and Sandy and Salty and Safi Doll. I had a whole bunch of us all collab together to make this like really quick 40-second commercial.
I'm so excited. I'm excited for
PFC, and yeah, there's actually a command in chat that will kick that little particular juicy little thing up and run the 45-second ad for that. We did the whole music, and it was a fantastic project. It was a worthwhile project. And so SSI, Save Safi's Internet, was another one of those that was tailored to run alongside of that. Like we were going to do another one for saving, because Safi's had horrendous internet. Like she drops constantly, no matter what it is she's trying to do. Her internet just dies. Gone.
She's trying so hard. She's trying so hard, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. And I mean, I've been through that too, so I totally get it.
Oh yeah, and so we Save Safi's Internet was the thing that came out because of that. Like that became a thing to do next.
I love that.
And then I've been trying to work out one for Salty. We hadn't figured out a good one for Salty. Swifty and one of her moderators, Long Range. I've been regularly doing Long Range brand muffin oil, which is a product produced by her moderator, Long Range. So like I've been, for a better part of about a year now, just been writing commercials ad hoc. Like,
I love
don't
that.
ask where they come from. They legitimately are like, ooh, this sounds like a great idea. Blip. I got 500 characters, because that's about all the more you can put in a chat, and that's it.
Oh my god, that's brilliant though. See, I can't, like, that's impressive though. If someone can do that on the fly, especially if someone redeems that, and then you have to immediately just think of something that's impressive.
Let's see. So, but yes, your go-to snack and drinks.
Oh yeah. I like energy drinks, I will say. Just the white Monster is fine, just to get me through the day. If I don't have it, then coffee is fine. But I like cold coffee. I can't do the hot stuff. I don't know why, but it is what it is. As for snacks, I said almost something else, but salty snacks actually. So salty snacks. I like a good chip. I like a good Cheez-It. Just anything that's kind of, I think more like a cracker, honestly. So Cheez-Its are always good, or like a Ritz. I always just need a lot of salt. So anything of the sort. It could be popcorn as well, but buttery, so salty as well. I like sweets.
Sandy, I have been working on one for you. I haven't come up with one just yet, but there is one in the making for you as well. So, heads up.
That'll be good. I'm excited to hear all of them. But yeah, those would probably be it. I think another drink. I drink a lot of water. But
Mhm.
I also like sweet tea. I do. That's about it.
Not a big tea fan.
I
It
mean,
makes
it just
tea
depends.
just in general makes me nauseous and
Oh,
violently
really? Any
ill.
kind?
Yes, any kind doesn't matter.
Interesting.
Green tea, regular tea, watered. No.
Interesting. Interesting. I don't know. I like sweet tea. I like a good Earl Grey, but I don't drink it a lot. It's not my preferred, but if I have it, I will drink it.
Well, there you go. Let's see. Next question on there. Haley Paley says or asks if given the chance to either stream for a living or work as an artist, which would you choose? Somehow I feel like this is like
Uh,
the easy no brainer question. I'm like, well, why did you even ask that? Because we already all know that. Duh.
do we? I hope so. I
I
mean,
don't. Yeah, I don't know. I just.
I as much as I love streaming, it would not be my full-time gig because my dream has always been to be in the gaming industry. I mean, honestly, the streaming right now is kind of like my full-time gig as I go through school. So that's been lovely. Everyone's been amazing with it, and I feel honored that I have the ability to make it full-time at this moment. But currently, I would say for sure I'd have to be art. I'd have to be a concept artist. It is my passion. It is my goal. Um, and it's kind of great though in a way because I can kind of clash both. Uh, because there's a lot of concept artists that actually do work in the gaming industry that stream on here, and so you can kind of do both in a way. Of course, not full time, but since I just have a community now, I want to make sure I can keep it to a point where it feels like it's full time, just so I can make sure community's having fun and I can keep up with it. But because I'm going to school and it's worth a lot of money, um, I would like to make sure that it gets applied to the career I want to go into because,
Money, money, money,
gosh,
money.
I mean,
Hey.
I kind of need it.
It's all
But
good.
I mean, it's definitely my passion and it's like one of the loves of my life. So I'd have to go into conceptual art to be my main piece of work. I love streaming though, don't get me wrong, but I don't see myself doing it full time for like the rest of my life or as much as I can. But I enjoy I'm doing it now and making friends and building a community. But concept art first has to be.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Sailor's Bride asks if you were a dragon, what would you
Oh.
hoard?
Oh.
Like, huh?
I
That
don't.
was not a question on the cheat sheet, Nora, you gave me. What is this?
Yeah. But this is because I know Sailor's Bride very well. This is a question that makes sense coming from her. You guys can't see my full room, but let me just tell you something. It is like a treasure hoard. There is way too much stuff in here. So I already am a hoarder in a way, but let's just pretend I'm a dragon and make it, it makes
Well,
sense.
you know, if they want to see more of it, they'll have to come and catch it on stream. Hi, Keisha. Welcome in.
Sure.
Tangy Bats. Lovely to have you.
Hello.
For our newcomers coming in on this fabulous Talk Tuesday, we have our special guest is Hales Vinon, artist, streamer, soon to be aspiring novelist extraordinaire.
Yes. Like Daenerys with all of these titles. I collect them like Pokemon cards. Okay, I try.
Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all, exactly. But if I was to hoard something, I mean, I have about 11 swords. So, if I was to collect anything, probably swords, because I have an addiction to just fantasy stuff in general, but swords. I love them.
Swords.
I've had swords. Yeah, swords. I have experience with using them and I'm not gonna say I can be a tutor to it or a super professional, but if anyone needs training, I got you. I've had training with swords and stuff of the sort a while ago, and I really, really love them. And I love a lot of it, whether it's through fencing or actual like, like fantasy blades. I just love it. So I would probably hoard a bunch of those. From a bunch of fallen warriors on a battlefield, I shall pick up their swords and claim them as trophies. As a dragon.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Let's see. The Brotherford says or asks if big capital, like huge parentheses. You know what? Hang on. We're going to come back to that question just real quick. I'm going to skip a couple of questions because we have Miss Amakisha is from Sweden. So I do not guarantee how long she will be around for, and I would like to go ahead and make certain that she gets her questions answered real quick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Miss Keisha asks, what do you think of Sweden?
Oh, well, I know that there's a lot of beautiful places in Sweden, and I don't know a lot. I will say I'm not gonna, lie and be like, oh, I know a lot about. I don't, but I do know how beautiful it is in a lot of certain areas in Sweden, and I actually have some friends from Sweden as well, and they say that I can't remember where they live. This was a while ago, but I will say, beautiful country. Just so many amazing sites, and I know that the people there are very friendly and very awesome, and I would love to visit at some point. Like, I've never been out of the States, so I would love to travel and go through so many different places. And basically, I know Sweden is definitely one of those places on my list of places to visit. But I feel like I need to look more into it and understand a lot more through culture to history to language as well to food to just a lot of things, because as someone that has that with Italy to South Korea, like I know a lot about stuff with those countries, so I would love to kind of I think delve more deeper into Sweden. I just know that it's definitely a very beautiful place and filled with some amazing people. But yeah, I would love to. That makes me think of like I have to now definitely have to look more into it.
There you go. All right. Now we'll return back to Rutherford's question. She says you definitely need to eat the meatballs when you visit.
Oh, okay. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Okay, got you. I love food, so absolutely. The Italiano in me is very very happy.
So back to Rutherford's question. If big capitals, quotations, if you were on death row, what would your final meal be?
I want to know why I'm on death row, but I will definitely. Oh, that's crazy. As someone that I watched a video of like a lot of death row like last meals, and some of them are kind of crazy.
Right.
It's like it's either a lot or there was someone that had like one little thing, and then someone had ordered a bunch of or said they wanted a bunch of stuff and then they never ate it. And I don't know. I think a lot of Italian cuisine. I gotta go back to my roots on my grandmother's side. I think Italian cuisine, to me anyway, is the best. I don't know if anyone agrees with me fully on it, but I love a lot of the Italian dishes, and I think that's probably what I would eat a bunch of. So a lot of different things. Just don't give me pineapple on pizza. That's all I like. That's all I ask. If you like it though, I'm glad. But Italian cuisine, just a bunch of Italian dishes.
Yeah, that would be terrifying, Squirrel. I don't know how I would feel about that. Miss Keisha says, preferably get grandmother's meatballs or their recipes. That's the best meatballs. Ooh. So if you're looking for that, there you go. Some Swedish tidbits.
If it's grandmother anything when it comes to food, absolutely. I know it's good.
And Sailor's Bride, looks like you were off. It was not chicken salad.
Okay, this is an immediate shot at me because this is a running joke. Okay, I may or may not have chicken salads every night because
Hang on a second.
I
Hang on a
don't-
second.
Yeah,
I've
go
been
for it,
being
go for it.
informed that I missed a gift sub bomb.
Oh no, go for
All
it.
I got are questions. Now I have to go look. Like scrolling back through my activity feed. Gifted. Oh. Yeah, I did miss that one. You're gonna have to talk to your buddy. Haley Paley came in and dropped 10 gifted subs to the entire community. It was very lovely of you.
I did not
Very
see that
lovely.
either. Haley, Haley's very
Well,
nice.
the problem here is I've got all of those sound effects and everything turned off. So like Talk
Oh.
Tuesdays, all of my normal things, like there's a ton of shout outs that normally happen and would happen
Yeah.
that are all
Right.
that's turned off. So we're not like interrupting the flow of this. But
Yeah.
thank you, Squirrel,
Oh.
for pointing that out. Haley, that is very kind of you. Extremely kind. And mostly very generous. I hope all of you who got that enjoy.
Yay! She's very lovely, always generous.
Have a good night at work, Miss Keisha. It's a pleasure as always to have you drop by.
Hi,
As always.
Keisha. Thank you for the question and also recommending the food. I'll definitely look
Yes.
into it.
Rutherford also asked, what are your stranded on an island top 3 items you would take?
Ooh. I gotta be technical about this. I can't just be like, oh, my phone. That's not gonna, you're not gonna get service up there. My phone, gotta check up on the Twitter.
I had to take my phone because I got to make certain I'm recording all those hip talk ticks.
Oh god, the talk ticks, man. I'll get so many views, guys. You won't believe what happened to me today.
I got to get my glow up on. What are you talking about?
I mean, I feel like I have to be, like I said, I have to be quite technical about this. I probably would bring matches. I gotta bring something for a fire.
Why matches?
Why? I just told you something for a fire.
Yeah, but
For a
don't.
fire.
Oh, I see. You don't know how to make fire without a fire starter.
I mean, no, I don't.
It's fine. It's fine.
But I'll stick with the matches. I'm in my bed with it. I gotta stick with it. Obviously my whole streaming setup. How cool would that be? I'm kidding.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Like coming to you live from somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. I have no idea where. When you figure it out, please do let me know. Send help, send food, but don't worry about it because until then, we're gonna keep rocking these.
Listen, who needs Survivor when you got Hales Venon going out into a deserted island and playing Baldur's Gate? But yeah, no, I'd say, well, I guess something to start a fire with, I guess would be, so like matches or anything like that. But then also, I would have to bring, I want to say a pot just so I can boil salt water if I need it, or any kind of water if there's like a river or something, just so that I can have fresh water, nothing in it that's bad. Because I'm trying to think of this in a survival mind rather than just saying anything. This is one of my fears. I'm like, what if I get stranded somewhere? I gotta think. And a good book, why not?
Okay.
And a good book, just some simple stuff.
Okay, so you're gonna bring a book. So if you had to read one book over and over again because you were stranded on this island, okay, everybody make mental notes so we know how to things to pack for Hales. Yeah, what is that book?
The Hobbit, easy. The Hobbit.
That's a good choice.
I've reread that book a lot, so. Book on survival. You know what, Bride? Survival for dummies. Yeah, I get it. Coming at me.
Getting called out. Gonna take me a book, right? You're gonna take a book on survival, right? Right.
Yeah, apparently so. I changed my mind. What were you gonna say though?
No, book on survival is not bad.
Oh.
No, I just was laughing about it. Let's see, Sandy Visions. Here we go. Here's the Kiss, Marry, Kill. Star Wars and BG3. Poe, Obi-Wan, Revan, Astarion, Halcyon, and Karlach.
That's that's. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yes. So we've got BG3, and you have Star Wars characters, and you get to kiss, marry, and or kill. Thank you for the lurk, Sierra.
This is a very serious question.
It is.
It's very important. So for Star Wars, I'd have to marry Obi-Wan. Absolutely. No, enough questions said. I know that the Jedi don't allow it, but you know what? He loved me too much to not care too much about the rules, okay? Listen, he had his thing with Satine. It's okay. He'll be with me. It's fine. And then I kissed Poe because I feel like he'd be too much in love with his X-Wing more than I am, more than with me. So I think that's already set in stone. And then I'm so sorry, but Revan's gonna have to go. I love Revan so much, and I feel like Sandy's gonna yell at me for that. But I'm gonna have to get rid of him if I can. I don't know if I could kill Revan. I think Revan would probably get rid of me a lot quicker than I can. And then for Baldur's Gate, I mean, I gotta. Oh wait, there's Halcyon in that one. That's
Sandy says more Revan for me.
Well, Sandy, that's okay. That's fine. You could have him. It's okay. I don't know. That one's a lot harder now. With Star Wars, it's a lot easier. I'd have to. I don't know. I don't know. That's actually. I mean, listen. Wait. Let me. I see these eyes glaring at me. So let me just put this here really quick. I think I got to marry Astarion. I look over and I just see him glaring at me, so I'm gonna have to say marry Astarion. And then I would kiss Halcyon. I might have to kill Karlach. Once again, I don't think I could actually get rid of her. She probably would like do me in first, so I would attempt, I guess. But yep, there you go. That was difficult.
There you go.
Something so simple had me questioning a lot.
It's okay. It's okay. Sailor's Bride says, what would your IRL and D&D class be?
Rogue. Absolutely. I think God, I love D&D.
See, yeah, I would have attributed you to be a bard.
Really? I have to know why.
Well, so bards are a subclass of the rogue. So you still get to keep your sleight of hands and everything else that goes along with that. But bards tend to be more in the artistic nature. And so that I feel would fit better with your personality, your ambitions, your goals.
That's true. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Most people say bard and they think some minstrel or whatnot, but not all bards play music.
I mean, I do sing, and see, this is one of those things that came up that I was wondering if it ever come up to where I can mention this.
Mm-hmm.
But I do opera.
There you go. See.
So that, I guess I see what it's saying. I'm just a very sneaky person as well, so I feel like it works, and I actually know how to lockpick for legal reasons. So for legal reasons, I just know these things. But that's why I would say rogue. But I feel like I also just choose that class when I do blaze a character, which is rare because I'm more of a DM anyway. But I guess in real life, bard does make more sense for sure. Maybe like subclasses, and then we'll be will be on that road. But
There you
Bard
go.
does okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Bard is the one that fits better with like I said, it fits you better, which is why I'm like you're like I'm gonna be a rogue. Okay,
Well, I
but
was picking up the sneaky quality.
but you still get the sneaky qualities with the Bard.
That's true. Okay, I'm gonna change my answer to what Rory said.
I'm just that you're like interesting. Why? I was just explaining why. I mean, if you look at the skill sets of the typical Bard, forgery is in there, so it's a skill set.
Yeah, I forged my mom's signature back in high school so I could get out of PE. So
Okay, I have forged my own mother's signature when I was a younger
Yeah,
kid, as well as I have done my own impersonation of her on the phone. When I was
That's
when I was a younger kid, the timbre in my voice was way higher, and
okay.
on the phone I was actually mistaken as my mom a lot in my I'd say preteens.
Okay.
So yeah, I got out of school for like a week because I didn't want to go to school by just calling up pretending to be my mom.
Awesome though. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. See, I don't sound like my mom, and to me anyway, but on the phone if I leave a message, I'm like, we sound the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, huh, what can I do with that? No, I'm kidding.
Now you know.
But now everyone knows. Now everyone knows.
Okay, let's see. Swift Squirrel says or asks, Squirrel.
Squirrel.
As an artist, who are some of the other artists who've influenced your methods and style?
Do you know who I'm gonna say?
Would it be Dave Greco?
So everyone, if you have never heard of Dave Greco before.
Let me tell you about Dave Greco.
No, I am gonna actually see something a little different. I'm gonna go off of a different different end. I'm gonna talk about traditional art, I think this time, opposed to digital, which I do currently. But I used to do a lot of traditional art, and obviously before I got into digital. And one of the artistes that really got me very excited to do paintings to any kind of sketches was actually Caravaggio, who was an Italian painter from, oh gosh, like 15th, 16th century maybe? I can't remember exactly the years. But he's done a lot of beautiful, beautiful pieces. I can't remember the names, so let me really quickly, because he has a lot of beautiful pieces that just reflect a lot of emotion to symbolism. And I learned a lot about him in my first year of college. And even though that college decided to make my major literature for some reason, I did a lot of art classes, and he did some really, really cool pieces that I just thought were so beautiful, from color as well to what they represented. I don't know, how many people love Caravaggio or like any kind of Renaissance or Victorian or Middle Ages kind of artist? Because if you do, we'll get along just fine. But I would say some of the cool ones are John the Baptist, which is from 1602. Very beautiful play on lighting and shading and anatomy. I think painting realism with anatomy is super difficult. It is definitely not easy. I would say blending is quite simple, but you have to do it in the right way, and remember that like the skin tones and with any kind, there's so many different variations and hues of color that it is hard. It is so hard. So it makes me like just curious as to how they just really exacted it way back then. Another good one is, he did do a Medusa painting. That is true. If you like Greek mythology, that might be perfect. There is also one called Saint Francis of Assisi in Ecstasy, and it is a really, really cool, beautiful painting. that just shows like the beauty between angel to human, and I don't know, it's just amazing, the symbolism behind it. It is so stunning. I highly recommend looking him up. Caravaggio, very very beautiful, very beautiful. I'd say he influenced a lot of my traditional artworks. And then now I draw D&D characters in video games, so I don't know what that says. I don't know where I switched, but if I do any traditional style paintings or drawings, I tend to revert back to that older version of myself that really, really enjoyed that style of painting. It's so beautiful.
Welcome in, Lillian Des. Good to see you.
Welcome
Good
in.
to see you. Let's see. Ooh. Well, we kind of covered this, but we'll touch on this again. Tangy Bats asks, what is your favorite / go-to method of self-care? It's a little bit different than the what is your favorite kind of self-care, but what is your favorite method of self-care?
Method. I think my mind just reverts back to the music, but it has to be very specific. Like, it can't just be, I listen to 80s music the most. Like, that is what I listen to, but it's not something I would say would help calm down anything that's stressing me to making my anxiety kind of calm down.
80s music, that's fantastic.
I love 80s music. I mean, I dress 80s every day. I don't know if anyone knows this. But I would say something more along, maybe I guess more the classical orchestral kind of sense. It does a lot of things for your brain, whether it's makes you more creative or makes you more, it makes you retain a lot more information, it calms you down. And it's something that does that for me. And I think self-care can mean anything, whether it's something in the physical sense, like body aches, or something in the mental sense. And I do a lot of more mental self-care. And I think music's the best way. And I'm not a musician. I know someone that is, and he says it is the same for him, where that kind of thing really does make him more grounded. And while I do love my 80s music, and I love my K-pop and all of that, it's not something that makes me feel more at peace. So I do a lot of classical pieces, or even some video game soundtracks to movie soundtracks that have that orchestral vibe. And it just helps me calm down. And I think that's very, very important, especially with someone that has quite high stresses and anxieties on the daily or on the weekly. And so it's something very important for me. And music is the best way. I think that's the best method on my end.
Nice.
Love it. Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. Ooh. This would prove to be interesting. Miss Sandy Visions asks, favorite folklore, if you have one.
Favorite folklore? Oh, that's a great question. Great. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at Brotherford.
Oh boy. I can't wait. Is it a question? So I'm trying not to look at chat.
It is a question on the question routine. We'll get, but you know,
boy.
it's a good one. It's a classic.
Okay. I got you. Favorite folklore, I think.
He's already getting called out.
The little giggles. Oh God, I'm scared, but also excited. I don't know. I think do Grimm's fairy tales count as folklore? Probably not. It's more of like
they do absolutely count as folklore.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So Grimm's fairy tales, it's you got to remember. So Grimm's fairy tales were, some of those are actual like folklore taken from different areas. It's just been gussied up a little bit, and even the Grimm's fairy tales that you know nowadays, that most people know, are actually a more tamer version of the original folklores, the original stories that they were. Like Grimm's fairy tales were not the light and fluffy tales that they are, that most people think of them today.
No, and I've read a lot of them, and it's so wild how, like Disney portrays Rapunzel or any of the other kinds of,
Yep.
stories, and you go, actually, and it's so much darker
Hmm.
and like not terrifying, but just so it's very I guess uncomfortable, but in a way where you're like, I need to know more. And I love that.
Hmm.
It's something that I really enjoy. So folklore, there's a lot. There's a lot. I actually had to cheat a little. I had to look up really quickly because there's a few that I can think of. Um, oh, the Oni, actually, the Japanese myth of the Oni. I don't know how many people
Right.
know about that. I did learn about that a long time ago. I had a lot of paranormal books that talked about these kind of things. Terrifying. Kind of terrifying. They're like giant scary monsters with brighter blue skin, horns, and all of these kind of things, and like servants, I'll say, of the underworld, I guess. And it's just like the things that go with that are just so terrifying, but you want to know more. And I'm someone that actually loves studying the paranormal. Um,
Hmm.
and I've had experiences, and I just love studying it. I love learning about it. I wouldn't say I'd be considered a demonologist, but I just love reading books about people's experiences or things like Ed and Lorraine Warren, which a lot of you guys might know from like the Conjuring movies and stuff. But they were real people, and they did a lot of different things, and it's just such an interesting concept. And so, of course, through the paranormal uh, world or realm, through stories to whatnot, you get the folklore, like the Oni that I just remembered about when I looked it up over here. And it's so interesting. There's so
Oh yeah. The
many,
the only
yeah.
is so I taught myself Japanese, and one of the things that I found the easiest way for learning Japanese was to completely immerse myself in the culture. And so you
Exactly.
learn an awful lot about the oni in the culture
Yeah.
and the significance of those. And it's not it's easy to say oni, but there are many different types of oni. Like the
Right.
Japanese don't just say oni, and oni means one thing.
Mhm.
There are close to several hundred different variations of oni in the Japanese mythos. Like
That's
there's
so
the oni
cool.
of the rivers, there's the oni of the mountain, there's the oni of the trees, there's the oni of the wind. There's like and they all have their special names, they all have their special forms, they all have like it is an entire thing, and it's fantastic.
Oh. See, like I know some things, but I didn't know about that. I think I knew that there was different variations, but to the amount of it, no idea. So that's
Yep.
actually really cool. Also, I didn't know that you spoke Japanese. That's even cooler.
Yeah.
No clue. I love that. See, I'm learning stuff today, like more stuff today than I thought.
There you go. Let's see
Yeah.
what else.
Nobody
Yes,
does
nerd.
speak Japanese.
I actually listen to it better than I speak it. I haven't had to verbally have a conversation with somebody in almost a year now, since there was a job I was working with where I actually worked with a native Japanese speaker, and we used to talk all the
Oh,
time. He thought it was great because it gave him somebody on the team that he could just talk normally to. And
yeah.
so as a software developer, we do these things called daily stand-ups, where we sit around and we talk about where we're at with whatever we're currently working on, and
Mm.
any kind of things that are holding us up. And so for him to do his stand-up, he literally would write his thing out into Google Translate, have it convert it to English, and then he would try and read the words out. And
Oh,
so while
wow.
I was there, it became actually easier. He would give his stand-up in Japanese, and then I would translate to English for everybody else. And it made it much quicker, made it easier. It also made it easier to ask him questions, because when the upper management's like, "Well, okay, so what about this?" and I would just turn around and just ask him straight in Japanese, and it made life easier for him. But
And see that,
spoken
yeah.
for a while, it's a thing that's I haven't spoken it in almost a year now, so it's a little rusty. But I still watch all of my anime in Japanese without subtitles, because it's so much more fun.
It's pretty much preferred, isn't it, huh?
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
to
Oh
watch
yeah.
the anime more, like not the dubbed, but just the OG, just in the Japanese format, which
Yep.
I think as well. When I had, I was I was not threatened into watching Jujutsu Kaisen, but I was like pulled into watching it. And I didn't watch it on the dub. I did hear that it's good for that anime, but I watched the first season. I think I preferred the Japanese version more. I don't know. It just works better, and that's actually really cool. That's the same with when I used to work at a certain retail store a long time ago. A lot of Korean customers would come in, and at the time I was more confident in being in conversation in Korean. Nowadays I don't use it, so it's like it's hard for me to even have a conversation. So I'm better at understanding and listening. Like you just like, if you don't do it for a while, you're gonna forget a lot, or you're gonna forget a certain way to say words or things of the sort. And so I don't do it a lot anymore. It was fun when I did, because a lot of the times they'd be so shocked. They're like, who is this person? How does she know Korean? It was
But you know, if anybody was tuned in to Swifty Squirrel's birthday stream on Sunday, I did wish her a happy birthday in Japanese. So
if the bot is still up, I'll go back.
it's right at the end.
Perfect.
So there you go. Rutherford says, and it's not really a question, more of a statement because he put it in chat. He says that you are amazing, and he's got to go get ready for a shower and his own stream, so he's taken off, but he has had an enjoyable time learning as much as he has about you.
Thank you so much, Rutherford. Thank you for the questions. I appreciate it. I love when you're in all the time. Thank you so much. Have fun in your stream.
Yep, and then Negu came in and sang a Danish birthday song. Yes, she did. Okay, we have a bunch of questions we have to get caught up on here. So we did the folklore bit and we got sidetracked. Rutherford does ask, what is your most memorable act of rebellion?
Oh.
I'm gonna put this out here real quick, just because I find it's really kind of comical, because I see you do it all the time. You cover your mouth constantly just before you laugh, which is very much a Japanese, Korean sort of behavior set. The dainty mouth bit.
As I do it again, I can't help it. It's because
I find it interesting. Nothing against it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, oh look.
I do that a lot. I don't notice it, but it's funny because you said it now. I have noticed I did it a lot during this. I think it's because, for me, I think it's more in the sense of I just have like a story in my head immediately, and it's either I regret what happened that time, or oh god, I'm gonna be embarrassed. So it's like, it's things like that. But yeah, I do that a lot. It's a rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've never been arrested, so let's just get that out of the gate, okay? Don't worry. I've never been in anything with law, so before anyone is like, she must no, I promise. Honestly, I think it was more of, God, I'm trying to think of what I should say, because a lot of it was, there was a lot of tame things like lying to stay home from school, typical, like pretending to be sick. There was one time I pretended to be sick for like 6 months, and then karma came back around, had a stomach infection. I was like, well, it kind of worked, so I'm not gonna say anything. And this was back in middle school, so it's like there's little things like that, but then there's more of like other things in the sense of, God, I wasn't really like not a horrible kid, but I wasn't like a rebellious kid. Like I never snuck out. I never really did anything in the sense of, I don't know. I think the only thing would be, no, I can't say that. I can't say that. Let's just say I was such a good kid.
Well, there you go. No real serious acts of rebellion, and that it's a valid enough statement, Miss Goody Two Shoes.
I think, dating a musician. There you go.
Are you-
Any musician that
Wow.
is listen.
So, lefty or righty?
Righty.
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 There
I
you go,
used
brother.
to
Fred.
as a child I would try to write with both. I think I tried to be more on the left, but my mom forced it into my right hand. I don't know why, but just a righty. I can't do lefty, I'm sorry.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
It was
no.
just it was the question that was asked. Okay, we're in. Some of these are going to be real quick and easy ones then. Sandy Vision says Old Republic or High Republic?
Old Republic. Love. Okay, I do love the High Republic, but the Old Republic just has so many cooler things. It's just also more of like I don't want to say like a pure form of Star Wars lore or connection with the Force, but I just love it. I don't know, there's just so many good stories that came from it, and also I think the Jedi were a lot more I was gonna say bearable. Which anyway, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm not saying you're right either. I just
God, I just dragged a whole era of Jedi of that time. I'm sorry.
wow. Just doxed an entire pantheon of Jedi greats. Just slapped them around. You mean nothing.
Damn. You know what? I would like to apologize to the Academy.
It's fine.
I mean, I think when it comes to all Star Wars lore, I think a lot of people have differences and reasons as to why they like Old Republic to High Republic. A lot of people say the High Republic's boring. I like it. I mean, it's not as I guess if in terms of eras, I guess it's not the most exciting, but it's also not the worst. Do you have thoughts on that? Like, do you have any thoughts on the Old Republic yourself?
Honestly, no. They both of them were an institution into their own that had their faults as well as their bonuses. Each one tackled problems that were unique to their time and their situations and what they were dealing with, and so each one is on its own standing a perfectly valid institution. So you kind of have to take it's kind of where do you fall in? What do you agree with, right? So do you think that what the Old Republic did was right? Do you come down on their side? Do you think that what they did was wrong? And so maybe you're more of a High Republic at that point. I mean that those are kind of the questions that you end up ultimately having to come back and answering is where do you fall in that?
Right. I don't know. I feel like my answer changes a lot depending on what I read next to what I experience in my Star Wars nerd career. I don't know what I'd call it. But because I read a lot of the Star Wars books. One of my favorite books that I read recently was Dawn of the Jedi, which I think they're making a movie out of, which takes 25,000 years prior to I think the OG series? No, or the prequels, I can't remember exactly. But 25,000 years before, and it's just so interesting to see the differences. The Jedi didn't have lightsabers then. They didn't, see the dark side as something wholly evil or wrong to temper. And it was just very interesting also hearing how they felt like the Force was created, and you follow this really interesting I know we got a little off track of the like old and High Republic, but it just came up in my head. Just think about just the differences in between so many eras, like in real life. But this era was just so much more my style, where I was so used to what Star Wars currently holds in the sense of light to dark side, or even just we have the Grey Jedi and what they do, kind of like how Mace Windu, does both light and dark. He combines it and whatnot, and the same with Ahsoka and like how she does it as well, I guess.
I don't know.
Kinda. But I think go
So
for it.
ideology speaking, since we keep coming back to this whole Star Wars concept, which is fine. If you stopped and reflected on your past to this point, and used that as a basis to follow underneath a doctrine for the Jedi Order, or for the Jedi in general, would you be light, gray, or dark?
Probably gray. Honestly. Which is interesting to say. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I probably, if I thought about it, I'd be like, oh, light side. But gray, honestly. I think there's just something appealing, but also something that makes sense when it comes to past tales and currently what I am doing. And it's just like, if I was in that universe, I probably would have, like Ahsoka. God, I don't know if there's... Spoilers, everybody. Just in case, I don't know. I know that the Clone Wars were a little while ago, but it's just in case. When she left the Jedi Order because of her disagreeing with a lot of it, I was like, you know what, that sounds... And she was much younger than I would have been at that time, in the sense of, like, when I first watched it, I'd say, that I probably would have been the same, you know? I probably would have gone down that path and I would have left. So, but I agree with like what you're saying in that sense. And I'd say when it comes to moral to experiences, I probably would have been a gray Jedi. But I digress. But Old Republic.
Yes, it has been it's been a lovely international gathering. We've had a lot of fabulous people from all around the world showing up. I hope everybody's been enjoying their interview and learning about Miss Hales Vanon. Let's see. Brotherford, this is the one that I was laughing about. Unfortunately, he won't be here to hear the response to this, but that's okay. The Brotherford asks, final question from me. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Was it like African or English swallow or something? Give me a good Monty Python quote. I love it. Yes.
What do you mean? African or European?
African or European. That's what it was. Oh God, yes.
I can quote you pretty much every line from every Monty Python movie, television show, and skit.
Same. People hype up Holy Grail, which is so good, but Life of Brian, it has a direct line of my funny bone. It is so good.
Life of Brian was okay. Life of Brian was fine, but honestly, the meaning of life far better.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, yes. Meaning of
far
life
better.
is very...
Especially when the guy comes out of the refrigerator and he's like, "Let me tell you." See?
True.
Let me put things in perspective for you.
Literally, just any Monty Python quote is so good. Like, it was ahead of its time. It was so freaking... It was just so good. Oh, Brotherford, thank you so much for that. That is a great question. Oh, that was great. Love it.
So... 'Tis but a flesh wound.
'Tis but a flesh wound. Oh God, I fart in your general direction. Oh, great.
Yes. So go away, or I will be forced to taunt you a second time. Yes.
Oh my God, love it, dude. Yeah, I need to watch it again for the 1000th time. Whew. Really good. Oh my gosh, is that Saf? The lovely Saf. Hello, Safi. I love Hales. I love you. We talked about you earlier, and I said that I love making you laugh.
Yes, the Holy Grail in general was just like I said, you can't... If you haven't sat down and watched the Monty Python, you really should sit down and watch Monty Python. But when you sit down to watch Monty Python, you have to completely suspend all of your
Just your daily plans, just anything.
no, I was going to say you have to suspend all of your Monty Python and in their entirety of their skits are extremely irreverent, and so you can't watch that and be critical. You have to just enjoy for the humor for what it was and the time it was written in, and the artistry and the acting that these guys put through it. And it is very, very irreverent in a lot of places, and it pokes fun at a lot of things that people will get. It's a wars. Hi, wars.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was.
Time.
I think those movies, especially like the time they came out, like it was definitely something that went whoa, like to people that watched it, like why would you say that, or things like that. But it's just like the way their humor works is it's genius in a way. Like it's very silly, to be fair, but yeah, the references they make to the things they talk about, to where it kind of in some aspects goes along with certain things in history. Like it's so clever, and I love clever comedy like that. I think the other one, I mean, this is not the same thing, but the other thing that I love with very good, clever writing is Frasier, the sitcom from the 90s.
Oh yes, Frasier was a good one. It had a lot of good, clever writing on it.
Is so good, and I grew up with it because of my mother, and we're actually rewatching it now, and it's just like writing like that, it is immediately like it'll draw my attention. So when it's that clever, kind of like smart but hilarious, relatable humor, I go for it. Love it. Yep. And Monty Python did that.
Oh yeah, Monty, they hit that bell in spades. They were fantastic for that. All right, let's see. So we got. All right, so Haley Paley says, "What is a topic you would consider to be your Roman Empire, or something that you think about often?"
Oh my lord, that's funny. My own Roman Empire. The thing that I think about, or will just get so excited about talking about, I think is just something easy, is like Dungeons and Dragons. I think because in my nerd heart, it's just what I constantly think about, and it's what I draw on a daily. And I think, isn't Roman Empire though? Is it you think about it every day, or is like a couple times a week or something of the sort? I think there's different variations of it, right? Of how the Roman Empire. Yeah, so for me, I'd say D&D, whether it's coming up with another character to draw or to just create in a campaign, I feel like I think about it all the time. And now that question and thinking about it's putting into perspective how much I actually think about it. I thought I was going to say Lord of the Rings, and it's not that. It is absolutely D&D. I think I talk about it every day. And I think my family's tired of it. I mean, we're a nerdy family, which is beautiful, but they have their limit, and they're like, Hales, listen. Like, I love a good, conversation about, Goliath barbarians to other things like world building and stuff, but I gotta tell you, I'm burned out. But I'm like, but did you hear? And it doesn't have to be about me creating anything. It could be things like Critical Role, which I watch every Thursday. Love it. I talk about it. I have a lot of merch to books to things like that. And I think I talk about it constantly to D&D art from other artists and things like that. But I'm starting to realize how much I do think about D&D now. And I didn't realize it was that much until that question was brought up.
Learned a little something extra special today.
I mean, I think we all know that I love D&D, but I think I learned about myself that I actually think about it maybe a little too common.
There you go. Welcome in, AR Eagle. Happy to have you here.
Eagle. Hi, Eagle.
All right. So All right. So this is just fair warning for everybody out there. We are coming into the last 15 minutes of our Talk Tuesday. So we will be starting to wrap things up. So hurry up and get your last few questions in there.
I'd like
we'll
to say
make
thank
certain.
you everyone for asking the questions and making me laugh, calling me out on a lot of my stuff today, which is really funny. But
Oh,
I'm very
we're
happy.
not quite
Thank you
done
all.
yet. We are
Okay.
not done yet.
Well, true.
You
No,
don't-
but just so fun.
You don't get to get out of the hot seat just that quickly. Nope. Nope. Not done yet.
Everyone's gonna be like, all right, we're gonna ask the serious questions. We're gonna really make her blush now.
Let's see. Okay. So Sandy Visions, next one after that was from Sandy Visions. Favorite paranormal moment in Ghost Adventures?
Sorry, that really, oh god, that got me. Because if you guys don't know, I love Ghost Adventures so much. I've been watching it since 2007, I think, when they first started. And if you come to my stream here and there really quickly, there is a soundbite where it'll be the opening of Ghost Adventures, and I will recite the whole thing because I can't help it. I'm a nerd for the paranormal. What can I say? But it's like the show, if you've never seen it, I think it's the most popular ghost hunting show, I believe. And it's just a bunch of ghost hunters that, go to very haunted places. But the main guy, Zach, he's kind of the worst. But you know what? We love that. He's a bit of a douchebag in that region. So it's very funny to watch him though call out the ghosts and things like that. So there's a lot of funny moments that do happen. And I think my favorite moments in that show is where they're like, wow, something bad happened in this room. People were attacked by the ghost. Hey, Aaron, which is one of the hunters, you're going to be locked in there for the whole night. Have fun. Enjoy. Your bait. And it's so funny. It's become kind of like a joke in the Ghost Adventures fandom, I guess that's what you would call us. Where we know that if something bad happens in a room, Zach's gonna send Aaron straight down there, whether it's a basement, an attic, a little crawly hole to go through underneath the house. It's gonna happen. And I know Haley and Jem know exactly what I'm talking about because they're the ones that watch some more with me in my Discord. But honestly, I'd say those moments. Those are so freaking hilarious.
All right. Let's see. Haley Paley asks, are you a dog or a cat person? And if you could have any animal as a pet, what would you choose?
Ooh, I used to be a cat person a long time ago, and I still love cats. But I have 2 dogs, and I love them to bits. So I think I'm more of a dog person now. My 2 dogs, Indiana and Khaleesi, they're a German Shepherd Husky Coyote mix, and the other one's an Australian Shepherd. And they are just some of the most, they're very beautiful and they're very cute and very loving. And I did have cats in the past, but they weren't like that. And while I did love cats and still do, I think I'm more of a dog person now after having these 2 wild girls. They are very they have big personalities. They're chaotic and I adore them. But I think if I had to have like an actual pet, I probably want a bearded dragon. Be the mother of dragons, go full Targaryen. Just give me like 3 of them at least. My dad had one when I was a child and I never knew this, and I thought that was really cool. When I mentioned it, my mom goes, well, actually, and she's like, but that one was kind of mean. So I probably would want that, which is interesting because when my friend and I move in together at some point later on down the road, like she said she wants a snake. So we'll see how this kind of goes. We're gonna have just reptiles running around. But I would say probably a bearded dragon. Just I need at least a touch of fantasy like stuff, I love my D&D, but we don't have real dragons in real life, so at least let me have that.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, love good bearded dragon. Any kind of reptile, love it.
In fact, you should talk to Catch Rutherford next time he's on stream. He's got a couple of animals of those natures. Not necessarily the bearded dragon, but I know he's got some geckos and some snakes and whatnot. Yeah, got quite the house full. And Saphira 876, it's her first question tonight. She just got here. Asks, what is your go-to art style subject when you're not doing commission?
Ooh, that's a good question, actually.
They've all been good questions.
They've all been good questions. I say that about all of them. Okay.
And then the hand
They're
covers the
all
mouth.
great
Okay.
questions. Hey, Nori. Nori, calling me out again. Listen, no, they're all such great questions, and so I'm just always like, every question that comes up, I'm like, oh, that's a good one, that's a good one, or that's a hard one. It's just because there's so many answers that I could, come up with, or I really have to think about it. Or it's a question I never thought I'd be asked or really think about. So that is a good one. And I think I want to say that even if I'm not doing commissions, because with commissions, actually, that's where the variety comes in. That's where I do things I normally wouldn't do. And it's interesting because commissions are the ones that make me either go out of my comfort zone or make me try something new that I've never done before, and it's enjoyable. I think when I don't do commissions, I just keep doing what I usually do, which is more in the sense of my style has kind of reflected that of Blizzard, I'd say. So World of Warcraft, because that is the game that holds my heart, holds my soul, kind of along with like Dragon Age. But the art style for World of Warcraft is so unique and just very, I think blocky is kind of the way to say it, very harsh lines, very like
yes,
cut. Yeah. So,
it's actually interesting because and you're going to call up WoW on this one. You realize that was not the way WoW originally looked. So no, back in the day, I was on the beta test group when WoW first came out, and so the graphics that we have nowadays, the stuff that you guys see now, isn't even close to the original art styling of what was original EverQuest. It was.
That's true.
We were like, when we were first beta testing back in those days, I was like, I actually was turned off from the original EverQuest because the graphics were they had softer lines back then. It looked more cartoony than it does now, and it really turned a lot of us off.
Yeah,
but
that's it. I keep forgetting about that because I remember my uncle was part of beta as well, because he actually knows someone that still works at Blizzard who does all of the environmental art for World of Warcraft, which is really cool. And he's that other person, someone that has helped me kind of wiggle my way into that company. Not fully, of course, but gave me like some of the insights of what to do in order to be a part of the team if I ever wanted to.
Nice.
Yeah, which is so exciting and really, really cool. Such a lovely, lovely chap. But the art style now for World of Warcraft is definitely what my art reflects. Because yeah, like early 2000s, late 90s, like it wasn't like that, and it's just very interesting to see it progress and see how different. Even now, like it's still slightly changing, especially when it comes to conceptual art, and it's crazy because
it is
a lot of gaming studios have a certain style they prefer, and they look for artists that reflect it. Maybe a little different where they make it their own, but because originally I wanted to work for Blizzard, my style started to morph into that. And so when I don't do commissions, that's kind of what I do. So dwarven characters to any kind of magical items, like I've drawn staffs before for mages and whatnot. And I'm trying to get into more of like edifices or buildings, just to kind of like fluctuate with that style. But like I said, it does also change throughout. So I'm trying to keep up, not with the trends of what that style is, but just to kind of see where they're heading and trying to see if I can stand out from the rest. Because all artists are trying to get to that point. All artists are trying to mimic it so they look like they're supposed to be a part of the team. And so with commissions, just to kind of make it a little shorter, that's when I do other stuff. That's when I kind of make my style that I usually work with dissipate a little bit and kind of branch out. Which is interesting because the recent commissions I've been doing have been just so exciting and so cool to do stuff different with.
Well,
And
I know I've been enjoying your latest commission that I've got going on with you. That's been a
that's
fantastic.
true. I was waiting to see if I think you mentioned it before, but just in case, guys, we're I'm gonna say we're collaborating. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. But we're
Yeah.
collaborating on a piece, and
Collaborating.
it's the work so far has been gorgeous. I have had no complaints on it so far. So I've been excited for it, and I've been dying for the debut, so we can kick it out there and get, we can start seeing what that is all about. But in either case, one final question from our very sneaky AR Eagles who has popped in, and then we will go into our final thoughts and everything, as is what we typically do around here. AR Eagle asks, Hales, how many hours do you have in World of Warcraft?
Oh no. That's hard to say because I've been playing the same character for over a decade. I don't know. That's I honestly have no idea. Too many to count, honestly. I've been playing since middle school, and I'm way far away from that.
You don't know?
All I say is
Kinda sus.
listen, okay, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's quite a lot. I will just say middle school is like late 2000s. So just think about it like that. There you go. There's so many hours in it, and I still play it to this day. Same character. So it's but funny with World of Warcraft, I played it because I saw it was very popular, and people said, "Oh, I got so addicted, I dropped everything." I was like, "There's no way. I'll play the first free 20 levels, and there's no way I'll get addicted. I'll just test it out." And here we are, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I caught the bug, and I'm here. I literally have Sylvanas everywhere on my desk right now. So I wish I had a number.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. All right. So as we go into our wrap up, it has been a very lovely time. A couple of things that we usually end with. If you had to give advice to anybody out there looking to get into streaming, into art, into the things that are your specialties, what pieces of advice, what things would you tell them that you would give them?
Honestly, I will say with streaming, I can't sugarcoat it because it is going to be hard at the beginning. It really is. It's not going to be, because sometimes a lot of people give up in the sense like, I'm not building a community, or I don't have a lot of followers. And at the beginning, it seems like it's always about the numbers, but it's more in the sense of do it to enjoy it. Because I can't deny that at the beginning, I was that person that was like, I'm talking to no one, or it's so difficult to stream when there's no one, and that usually burns out a lot of people. But I will say some of the best things is get a group of friends to come in and enjoy the game with you in the chat. I think a lot of the times people are intimidated when there's no one in the chat. They don't want to be the first. It happens. I would say just do it to enjoy it. Have friends with you if you want to chat with someone while you play. Anything. It could be World of Warcraft, it could be Halo, it could be art. You want to be able to just have that sense of enjoyment. And when it comes to art, I will say something along the same lines is I think people start to feel down when they don't have their own style. I struggled with, I guess, art identity is probably the right kind of course of words to choose from, but it's difficult, especially if, let's say, you wanting to do a specific style, whether it's game art, whether it's realism, whether it's even abstract, or if you something outside of the box, like being a tattoo artist. Like, it's very difficult. It's definitely a trial and error run. I started off as traditional artist, and I drew eyeballs first. That was the very first thing I did, just so I can get a sense of realistic, I guess, different textures from, water to skin texture to lashes so hair. It's just so important to remember that everyone starts from somewhere, and it's gonna be not knowing what to do at all, but being able to push yourself, watching videos, having advice from other artists, and just continuing to do it, but just doing it because it's a passion. Very important. Just know that it's your passion that continues to push you through it. And that's what happened with me. And that's very important.
There you go. There you go. Some very, very wise words. Johnny, I am super excited. I am glad you have enjoyed this. This has been a lovely conversation. Again, for all of you people, if you don't know who this fabulous lady is, this is the one, the only, the incomparable Hells Venon. Streamer, artist, future author, and as we have learned, a keeper of secret accent of quickie talk. The
accent's not that hard. You just got to try and keep the accent right in the back of the throat.
There you go. This,
all you gotta do.
As always, this has been fantastic. We've had a good time. We've had a lovely conversation. I couldn't have asked for a better guest this week. It's been a good time.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me and for allowing me to, tell everyone about myself and also getting to know your chat as well. It's been awesome.
This has been a fabulous time. Yeah, like everybody's always like, wait, it's over already, but no.
I know.
This is you always know when you're having a good time. As people are like, no, it can't be ready to leave. No, absolutely not. As is typical around here, for this, we are going to do the actual Twitch official shout out. So there's a little heart that just popped up there. I'm telling you, if it's not already lit, you're doing it wrong. Period. Click the button. You're not going to miss out. It's not going to be a waste of your time. It's an absolutely fantastic time. I enjoy every moment of a Hail stream when I get to catch them. So I insist. Go, follow, watch. You'll enjoy it. I promise. Artwork to die for. And on that, as is also typical, as you are the special guest, we have a collection of fantastic folks. Do you have anybody that you would recommend us to go raid out to?
Oh, at this current moment. Ooh, there's a few people. I see someone, actually, she is a very lovely person, and her name is great, and it's Sushi Monster 1005. She is great. She's playing American Arcadia. I don't know what that is, but she's very lovely.
Don't know what that is either.
I don't know.
That's
It's very interesting. I can look into it as well. Let me see. There's not a lot of my folks on, but she's a very lovely person. She chats to
Sushi
everyone.
Monster 1005. Is that what you said? Okay, I want to make certain I've got the right one. Yep, American Arcadia. Okay, we've got it. I've got it lined up. We will send all of these lovely people over to go meet a sushi monster.
Yay!
Because that's the other rite of tradition on a Talk Tuesday.
That's lovely. I love that.
Yep. Okay. I am going to deafen. Don't go anywhere though. Be right back with you. And then for the rest of everybody else, we're going to hit the end screen. We're going to raid out, but don't go anywhere because there's still more to scream and shout about. So, thank you, Hales. It's been lovely.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And so, where's it at? There's the end screen. We are out of here for the evening. You folks have been fantastic. You've been lovely. You've been amazing. And I thank you all for coming out. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've learned about the fantastic Hells Venon. It has been such a delight. Can't say enough wonderful things about him. Now, if you think we're done this there, you would be sadly wrong. Don't forget, next week on Talk Tuesday, that's right, the one, the only, the incomparable, the irresistible, the smooth talking Mr. Warfather will be here on our Talk Tuesday next week. You don't want to miss out on this fantastic Minecrafter and graphic designer, as he's helped come up with some of the ideas and things that you see around here. He built some of the screens that you see right here on my own channel. So come by, Check them out. You're going to love it. You're going to scream and shout. It's going to be so much fun. But for now, we are going to go raid the Sushi Monster 1005 per Hale's request. So there are the raid messages. The first one is for all of you lovely subscribers, and the second one is for all of you lovely followers. Copy whichever one that you can use and get ready to spam to your heart's content when we get over there. We're going to go have fun. We are going to go have a good time. We're going to keep this happy moments keep on rolling. And until next time, continue to be the fantastic, fabulous, and amazing people I already know you are. And until next time, bye for now.